Come on. It's fast breaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeds, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game, we don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break, throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break, throw me the outlet. We on the break, it's fast break. We on the break, it's fast break. Let's go.
We wish you Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Hanukkah and a Happy Kwanzaa too. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah and Happy Kwanzaa too. Happy holidays!
I'm not gonna lie, my favorite part is Paul going. His brains be going all over. His brains be going all over the place. I love it.
Like Waka
Fast-Break
Flocka.
family, we hope you have had
Like Waka Flocka.
joyous, healthy, and merry holidays, whatever you celebrate. To all those that celebrate, we hope you are in good vibes. You are with family, friends, loved ones, whatever it is that you enjoy, taking part in whatever it is that you enjoy. Fellas, good to see you. I extend that well wishes to you as well.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
We have serious pod business to get to today.
Serious.
Let's get right into it. We are going to break down Christmas Day in the N.b.a, one of the N.b.a's biggest days, biggest marketing days, biggest marquee days. And also for us at the 30 game point, with all this talk and this narrative around the N.b.a product and viewership, this is when they've put their best foot forward for the year. And so I think this is a great litmus test for us to really analyze what's going on here. So we'll go in game order, which means, unfortunately, pod folks, we have to turn to Paul to start the pod. I promise I will rein him in, and we won't be here for 2 hours. But the first game on the N.b.a slate, the New York Knicks in the Garden versus the San Antonio Spurs. Mikal Bridges scored a season-high 41 points, and the New York Knicks were able to overcome
I don't want to hear nothing about his shot ever again.
And you
You talk about me.
Anyway, the Mikal Bridges scored a season-high 41 points, and the New York Knicks overcame a 42-point performance from Victor Wembanyama in a monster Christmas debut to edge the San Antonio Spurs 117-114. Wembanyama set a Spurs record for points on Christmas and added 18 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 block shots. The reigning Western Conference Player of the Week also made 6 3-pointers. However, Bridges shot 17 for 25 from the field, 6 for 9 behind the arc to make sure the Knicks had just enough offense to win their 5th in a row and improve to 20-10. Karl-Anthony Towns added 21 points, 9 rebounds. Jalen Brunson scored 20 points. Jeremy Sohan had 20 points and 9 rebounds. Coach Paul, break this game briefly down.
Well, I'll be quick. We're winning the chip, and here's why.
Let's go.
Hey, you on mute, Alan. You on mute. But
I said I knew that was gonna be his first sentence.
Of course. So here's the thing, right? The Knicks have struggled all year. Actually, since we got Tibbs, we struggled with pick and roll, good pick and roll, elite pick and roll tandems, right? So that's one of the biggest reasons why the Hawks
Pick and roll what?
Tandems.
Tandems.
Yeah, tandems. That's one of the reasons why the Hawks beat us in 21, right? The pick and roll was killing the Knicks against in that Spurs game. And Wemby on the whole was killing the Knicks. Cat cannot guard Wemby. Precious Achua did a better job against Wemby, and then OG did an even better job against Wemby. So that foul trouble kind of helped us a little bit. But it was nice to see the Knicks buckle down and on the defensive end and seal a win, because we haven't done that against. I know the Spurs aren't great, but they're decent, and we did that against a decent team. We haven't done that all year, right? So that was the biggest deal. I know people want to make a lot of noise about Mikal Bridges and his 41 points. That was a big game. Mikal Bridges has been the most consistent Knick for the month of December. So, like, he was kind of on track to get back to that level, and he had a breakout game on a national televised game, one of the biggest games of the year, on a Christmas Day game in Madison Square Garden. So, listen, man. We are the most unstoppable offense in the league, right? If we get consistent with the defense, we're winning the chip, and Tom Thibodeau's our coach. So that's all I got to say about it. And as far as the Spurs, get Wemby some shooters. We better win the ship this year, because Wemby,
Hey,
Wemby, oh my God,
Trouble is coming. Trouble is coming.
All they got to do is get them some shooters. That's it.
he almost understands it now.
Yeah,
Almost
I
understand.
think he does understand it. Like,
He's beginning to understand it.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I still think he takes too much.
He made 6.
Listen, man.
He made 6.
Oh man, and it was real ones too. They wasn't
That's
no,
a fact.
like
They weren't like
Deep.
No, that's a fact. But here's the problem. Right?
I know what you're gonna
When
say.
he was 6 for 10, right? That's efficient from the 3-point line.
Efficient from
But
anywhere.
he will never. But hold on, he will never be more efficient from the 3-point line than he will be in the paint, because 7'5".
Wait. He was 6 of 16, not 6 of 10.
I also didn't believe he was 6 to 10.
From the 3-point line.
From the 3-point line, he was completely inefficient.
16. Wow.
16 threes.
Nah, he
knew
was
it.
ultra aggressive.
You know
He was
why?
ultra aggressive.
He started chucking a lot of threes near the end. That's what.
I think because I think it was the beginning. He was like 1 of 6 to start the game.
Oh right,
And
yeah.
then he hit.
He
But
was.
but that told me something. The way he came out gunning, I was like, he understands it. He was ultra aggressive. He knew he was playing a good team. He knew he was playing against another center that's gonna be offensively aggressive, and it worked. He got Cat in some foul trouble. I didn't think Cat was able to dominate games like I've seen him.
He's still taking too many threes.
But Paul, here's where I'll
Cat or Wemby.
Wemby.
Here's Paul. Here's give you credence to your point. It has something to do with his offensive ability. Here's why him taking a lot of threes hurts the Spurs, because there was one aspect of the game that the Knicks dominated that actually was the key to their victory, and you didn't mention it at all. Offensive rebounding.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the reason why that is tied to Wemby's three-point shooting is because that means he's spacing to the 3 often on offense. He's either the one taking the 3, and he doesn't take a lot of corner threes. He takes top and wing threes, a lot of top threes, which means he's not crashing. If he's shooting from the top, he's not crashing. And if he's spaced out to the wing, he's not crashing. And he's the biggest cheat code on the boards. So he dominates, on the boards. He had, what did he have? He had 18 rebounds, but most of those were defensive. He's not crashing, and he's not in the paint boxing when a shot goes up. And that just leaves teams open to offensive rebound. And that was the key to the game. In fact, that was how the last possession went. The last possession, they got a decent look, and there was plenty of time left to get another one. But the Knicks got an offensive rebound, and that was it. Right?
But see the thing, I agree with you, but at the same time, Wemby's going. Most of the time, the person that shoots a shot is not the one that's getting the offensive rebound, and Wemby's going to be the one shooting the shot most of the time.
Not if you're in the paint, though, to your point, right? So it's if he's shooting a lot of threes, he has no chance to get off his rebound. If you're in the paint, I mean, we see putbacks, tips, rebounding your own shot, the Angel Reese method, if you will.
Yeah, that's a fact. No, that's a fact.
No one.
Say it one more time. I missed
The
it.
Angel Reese method.
I said the Angel Reese method, if you will. Missing and getting your own shot.
I didn't hear you.
No, because you whispered it. That's why no one heard you.
We love you. We love you, Bayou Barbie. Chicago Barbie now. Chi-Town Barbie. We love you.
Get a bag.
He does, but keep going.
That's what
She's getting a bag.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I'm talking about on the court.
She has a bag.
Oh,
and
she needs
it's a Birkin.
Yeah, well, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Well, yeah. Nah, listen, man. I just can't wait till we play the Celtics. That's all.
Can I tell you your one weakness though that another team is going to exploit?
Sure.
That I saw transition defense because you guys jumped out to a good lead, but in the second half and it started in the second corner when the Spurs got stops and started running, their transition points were ever flowing.
That was just that game though. You're right, but it was just that I don't think that's a regular thing for them.
That's not a regular because most games you'll see a lot of transition defense, particularly by Josh Hart, OG, and Mikhail. So I don't know if that was just one game or one game one-off.
But those two things correlate, right? So like that's one thing you leave yourself weak to when you send everybody to crash offensive rebounds is no one's getting back. True. And so that's what I saw a lot. Whenever the Spurs were actually able to secure defensive rebounds, they were out. They were gone.
Yeah, that's true. Again, one game only, and it's just because that's how they played the Spurs. That doesn't mean that's how they're going to play every other team. They're not going to have that problem with the Celtics. They're not going to have that problem with the 76ers. They're not going to have that problem with most teams. But when you play in a team that has a 7-7 demigod, you got to go crash the boards.
On defense?
I mean,
on offense, like, do you have to crash for offensive rebounds, or you can
don't
just
necessarily have
you
to.
can concede that the 7-6 demigod is going to get it and get back?
I don't know, because all offensive rebounds with a team like the Knicks also gives them a big advantage, right?
I mean, it worked out. It worked out for sure. I think that's just that's one thing I noticed is like when they weren't able to get them, they were not going to be able to get a stop. They could not get back in time.
I don't know if it was the best decision on a team.
Can't hear you, Paul.
Honestly, I think that works out better on a team that doesn't have a true big. Where you can get that easily. But you're right. It's something they shouldn't probably do again in the future, on a team like that.
I agree with you, Farrell. But the Knicks are the Knicks. That's part of their identity. It's been their identity for years. It's not going to change. So,
right.
And it helps us against most matchups in the league.
That's what I'm saying. It will. It just won't work against the Spurs. It's not going to work. It might not work against the Celtics, actually. I said it would, but I don't think it will.
I'm afraid of the Celtics, man.
I'm not afraid of the Celtics, but they have another
I cannot wait till February.
You don't have to be afraid to recognize an adjustment necessary in order to beat a certain matchup.
I'll tell you this: if Kristaps Porzingis is injured by the time the matchup comes around, that strategy will work.
No, I'm not afraid of Kristaps when we have.
I'm not saying you have to be. Stop talking about fear.
Why
you keep talking about fear?
Okay, let me use a different word. Let me use a different word. Kristaps is not Wemby. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, he was.
Wait. Yeah, but not anymore.
And he still can't be on any given night.
He's not that tall. Listen.
He's 7'4".
He's 2 inches shorter.
No. He's short. He's much shorter than Wemby.
No, he's not.
All right,
he's like 7'2".
No, he's not.
I'm pretty sure he's somewhere between 7'4" and 7'6".
Listen, Karl-Anthony Towns is leading.
Never been 7'6".
Wemby is legitimately 7'9". I don't care what.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Did you see how much taller he was? That's 7'2".
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's not 7'9".
But no, he makes a.
They have Kristaps listed at 7'2". I believe in real life he's 7'4".
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's like 7'1", 7'2". He's just a 7-footer. Like Wemby's a different animal. You understand what I'm saying?
7'4", and no one convince me otherwise.
Cat can't do anything with Wemby, but he can do something with Kristaps. And Cat is leading the league in rebounds.
Let's transition, Alan. What did you think of the fact that the Mikal Bridges heroics two things were mostly from the mid range, and also very key. They occurred while Brunson was on the bench for much of the fourth quarter. They didn't bring Brunson back till there was maybe 3.5 minutes left, and Mikal just commanded the offense for that whole time. What kind of luxury is that to have a player that can control your offense and be productive out of the mid range, tough shots, tough to defend shots, while your star player is on the bench?
I mean, that's what you need, right? And first of all, that was a Christmas gift from the Nets to the Knicks.
Yes, it was. Thank you.
But like,
thank yourself, Ray. You were a part of the trade.
I was.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I went along with the trade. I went along with the trade. I was part of that trade.
That's a fact. But that's what you need, man. Like, you need another person that could create shots, especially when you're going against a player like N.b.a who's at the paint, right? You need someone who could create shots for themselves and get to like the mid range and shoot over people and not get a shot stuff because you got a monster down low in the paint. And the Mikal Bridges, like that's what the Knicks got him for, man. Like, I know Paul just said that he was like the most consistent player in December, but like the Knicks fans have not, from what I've seen, the Knicks fans have not been feeling him because he's not giving them that offense that he's been capable of when he was like on the Suns and when he was on the Nets.
Casual fans have not been feeling him.
I feel like a lot of people have been kind of mad. It might be casual fans, it might be national fans overall. But overall, I feel like people were just kind of like expecting more from him. And on Sunday, he really showed what he could do. I mean, on Christmas Day, he really showed what he could do. And he's just a good player, man. When he found a shot, he found a shot. And you need that.
Stop doing that bull dive hitch, whoever was teaching.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Like I said, I think we talked about it before, me and Paul did. But I think he was just trying to find a different way to affect the game because he knew he was going to be more of a catch and shoot guy in New York. But I'm glad he got over that and like found his shot again and has been playing really well.
I think him getting started early in the game, aggressive as a cutter, was huge because that adds a new dynamic to the Knicks offense. It gives them some motion, it gives them some spacing, it gives them rim threat outside of Cat. So I thought really the key to his game was him getting all those early layups, cutting, and really getting himself into rhythm.
And let me say this too quick. This narrative about, I'm not gonna call it a narrative because I agree with it, but people saying they're shooting too many threes, right? In the N.b.a.
They hit on Wednesday, so I mean,
no, but it's not. The Knicks are one of the teams that take good threes. Like last night, we played the Magic, and we only shot like 10 threes or something like that, something low, and we won the game.
Only shoot 10 threes.
We didn't shoot a lot of threes at all. Oh, we didn't shoot a lot of threes, and that was the whole narrative about the game. But the Knicks don't depend on the 3-point shot. We just take good shots because we go into.
He shot 15.
That's very low. That's very low.
And you were 4 or 15.
Yeah, that's a fact. And we won the game. So it's like,
one game by a lot too. Huh?
You see what I'm saying? So
the Magic don't have their 2 stars. The Magic had nobody out there.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying you could. The point is the Knicks don't depend on the 3-point shot. They only take the shots that are available to them. A lot of teams, they try to force the 3-point shot on the game, right? And I think that's the reason why, especially the Knicks Spurs game was so good, is because they were looking for good open shots. They were playing good basketball, and you're gonna have a lot of threes when you have that, but it's not gonna be like bad shots. You understand what I'm saying? That's really the issue with the NBA. It's a bad shooting.
So then let's move forward off the in-game breakdown board to the macro point. What do you think about the quality of the game as the initial game of the N.b.a slate for Christmas Day? You get 2 40-point performances, one from what some may describe as a role player, the other from, so this is N.b.a, right? This is the guy we think is going to be the face of the new soon-to-be face of the league, the 4th one in 4 years, I would argue. His Christmas debut, he gets San Antonio back on Christmas Day, and he delivers 40 points in the Garden. It looks good. You get a late game heroics from Mikal Bridges. In terms of a first game of the slate on Christmas Day, everyone's just finished their breakfast or their brunch, and they're opening and playing with their presents. What do we think about the quality of that game as a product?
Are you not entertained? Now, for real, are you not entertained? This is what we're talking about. JJ Redick said this recently. He said there's all this talk on Twitter about the negatives about basketball, but then when there's good basketball happening, we are so slow to celebrate it, and it's only niche Twitter accounts with small people like us, right, who actually watch real basketball, who come out and are telling you this is good basketball. Let me tell you something. That first game with the Knicks versus Spurs, that is good basketball. In fact, most of the games that happened on Christmas Day was good basketball, and I didn't hear a thing about it. Still talking about the ratings. Let me tell you something. That was a good brand of basketball, having 240-point performances from high-quality teams with a future face of the league and the team that's going to go on to win the championship. That was a good basketball. That was good shot making. That was good decision making. And it wasn't just a chucking threes because we had mid-range shots, okay? We had good defense for the most part. We had a guy getting 18 boards. That's not easy.
4 blocks.
And 4 blocks, by the way. All right. We had a team that last year was a laughing stock. We have role players looking like they could be potential fringe stars right now on the Spurs out of that team. This was good basketball, and I need to hear a little bit more about it. Get excited. This was good entertainment, and we should all be happy about it and celebrate what happened. I don't care that N.b.a took 16 threes. He's 7'7". Someone go stop him. He's gonna he can hit that.
Alan, what do you think? Quality of product, style of play. I know that was a big part of our analysis of the quality of the product. What did you think of the style of play in that game? You had 2 ball-dominant point guards who were setting their guys up. You had 2 stretch bigs, and you had wings who were doing some operation. Did that seem like more of a balanced basketball style to you, or did you still see sort of modern trends, but it was just everyone was making their shots, so it looked good?
Yeah, I love the style of play. I think both teams came out and played aggressively, came hard. Pause. Like you said, it was bad. I already said it. But like they came out like you said, balanced. But my most important thing is they came out playing like through the stars, and like specifically on Christmas Day. It may not be like the proper thing to say, but like I think that's what I want to see on a Christmas Day. When it comes to like NBA basketball, you think on Christmas Day, you want your stars to play aggressive and take it seriously. And that's what N.b.a did. He came out and played like he was a star at MSG. He wanted to do what like his predecessors did before him and show out on Christmas Day, especially on the MSG. When it comes to like the quality of the game and like the trends that you're talking about, so before Christmas Day and a couple weeks before that, I was leaning more side like the too much threes things. But as I like started paying more attention to it, when the conversation got bigger and bigger, I'm starting to lean more towards like it's not that there's too much threes in the NBA. It's very much similar to what Paul said. It's just the quality of shots. A lot of teams are taking good 3-pointers, and I think that game that we saw a lot of good shots. I wasn't like mad at much of the threes I saw in like the Knicks Spurs game. Everyone took like pretty good quality shots, and the game was entertaining. It was fun to watch. It was fast paced, and I think it made for great basketball. So that's my opinion on that.
Got it. Moving on to game 2 on the slate, we went down to. This was in Minnesota, right? I believe.
Yes.
So not down. We went over to the Midwest, over to the Twin Cities.
Was it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was in Minnesota.
I think so. Yeah. The Mavericks played the Wolves.
Yep.
Let me give us the
No, I think it wasn't that because
I thought it might have been in Dallas, but I thought back to the jerseys and I was like, the Timberwolves are wearing the white, but they done switched that rule now.
Oh, you're right.
That's not a thing no more.
Yeah, it was in Dallas. So we did go down to Texas. Anthony Edwards scored 26 points, and the Minnesota Timberwolves held on for a 105-99 Christmas Day victory over Dallas after Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic left the game with a strained calf.
It's on my parlay, man.
A rematch of last season's Western Conference Finals won by Dallas fell flat when Doncic pulled up lame while running a play late in the second quarter Wednesday. Then it got wild when the Mavs erased almost all of a 28-point deficit in the second half. The five-time All-Star never made it back to the defensive end and limped off the court after Dallas called a timeout. It was only his second game back after missing 2 with the left heel contusion. Nonetheless, Kyrie Irving scored 39 points but was short on a 3-pointer that would have put the Mavs ahead in the final minute after they trailed by 38 late in the corner. Doncic in his limited minutes scored 14 points. Rudy Gobert, we don't care what he did. Julius Randle played in Dallas against his hometown team for the first time.
Yo.
This blockbuster trade that brought him from the New York Knicks. He had 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Dre,
Yes,
talk to me
sir.
about this game.
Well, first and foremost, there's a lot that happened. One thing you didn't mention was that Klay Thompson moved up to 5th spot in all-time three-point shots.
Yes.
Huge. All right, that happened.
Aggressive. That's
I
fine.
think it was
Ask
in the
Reggie.
third quarter. It wasn't enough though. Obviously, when you lose a guy like Luka Doncic, who's one of the top 10 players in the league, it's hard to make that adjustment. And the Minnesota Timberwolves were able to go on a run in that third quarter. You know, you lose your guy in late second quarter, you have to make an adjustment. The Mavs don't, and they were able to go into the third quarter being very aggressive, smelling blood in the water. And then Kyrie Irving said, "That's about enough of that." And, hey, in fourth quarter, let me tell you something.
Jersey, Uptown.
Hey, he said, "I've seen
You know,
white
Uptown.
enough."
Yeah, he claims Uptown. He claims Uptown.
When? I never seen him claim nothing but Jersey. But
All right,
continue.
watch this.
You gonna pull it up? Look at it.
He played games in the Bronx as a kid with his dad. He don't claim
Uptown.
it. But he don't claim that's where he's from. But
He
continue.
claimed that's where his game was developed.
Anyway, let me just say this. Listen, I know that the Timbs won, but they're still ass because let me tell you something. They should. Hey, that lead was completely erased. Was almost entirely completely erased. And yes, we don't care what Rudy Gobert is doing, and I don't care that Julius Randle almost had a triple-double. That team should be ashamed of themselves by the fact that they were almost eviscerated. If the Mavs won, there's nothing you can tell me about the Timbs, about the Timberwolves. They're trash. No, I'm dead serious. If the Mavs won on the back of Kyrie Irving alone, we know how great he is. He dropped 39.
I wouldn't say it's on the back of him alone, though. They have they're a reigning Western Conference Finals champ that brought in Klay Thompson. So even without Luka, that's a strong roster. And they added all the shooting this year and got rid of all those bums.
It shouldn't be that strong to be able to come back.
No,
like
that's
20
my
points
point.
down.
It shouldn't be that strong.
Against the
Where they're able to
Timberwolves.
eviscerate.
Let's
They
put
were
a pin in
down
that because I want to
26.
come back to that when we talk about quality of the product, because that's actually a quality of the product point that I want to make. But keep going.
No, I mean, I don't know if there's much more to say. There was historic numbers in that game, obviously. But for the Timberwolves, I mean, just be glad you kind of stole one. You got lucky because when Luka was there, it didn't look like they were taking command of nothing.
It was back and forth when he was
It
there.
was early in the game, yeah. It was.
I'm telling you, if Luka stayed in that game, there's no way the Timberwolves are pulling away.
So what I saw, a few observations I saw that the Wolves, and I've watched them a couple times, but watching them like this intently, the Wolves really play through Julius, which I think
I don't like.
I think they thought that was going to look different than it does. I think they thought they were going to turn him into a Draymond style player who just scores more, like 2016 Draymond. That is not how it looks at all, though. Naz Reid is still a big mismatch for everyone in the league, and I think they need to utilize that way more.
Right now,
He really can't be guarded by
baby.
anyone at his position or bigger.
but they still don't know what he is because he's not really a 5.
He's a tall 3. He's Lamar Odom.
I like
That's
that.
a really good comp.
like
That's a
that.
good
He's
comp.
seen this before.
I
That's a
like
good comp.
that.
He's
That's
a
a good
tall
comp.
3.
Wow,
He's a 6'9"
that's-
3. That man is a small forward. They need to stop
That's
trying
a
to
very
start.
good comp.
That's tough.
They need to stop trying to start these
That's a
3 and D small forwards. I mean, all love to Nickeil and Jaden Daniels, but Naz Reid is your starting small forward, man.
Yes.
The 6th man. I get that he was 6th man of the year, but with this roster, I mean, Conley, Ant, Nas, Julius, Rudy, that needs to be your starting and closing lineup. Because also I noticed Minnesota is long as hell. Pause. Their length on defense is incredible.
Yep.
And they only get longer if they would start that big of a front court. 6'9", 6'9", 7'1". I mean, good luck scoring in the paint.
Their offense will be
And their switchability is excellent because Julius and Nas can switch everything. Rudy can't do anything.
Can't do nothing.
But
I might have
hold
to
on.
try that out too. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm
should
telling
try
you,
Nas
they
as a
need to
3.
start Nas Reid as small forward.
The only thing I worry about is his quickness on the defense. But
He's got it. He's got the length and he's got foot speed.
Let me say
I
this, right?
don't- I don't
Most of his
know, but-
buckets, he's taking guys off the dribble to fillet.
Yeah, that's a fact. But I'm saying, like, on defense, I don't know if he's going to put in that same type of effort.
And then you don't.
But-
Also, you won't have to worry. Even if you move into the starting position, you don't have to
but I'm
worry.
going to have to try that on 2K. I'm going to have to try that on 2K.
You don't have to worry about bench production because Dante DiVincenzo is still around. I know he has been a bit of a shell of his former self, but even in Christmas game, he was coming out.
They're not using him right. They're not using him right.
No, they're not.
He's a catch and shoot guy, and they're asking him to be Lou Williams
because he played like Lou Williams.
Who is it? I missed the name.
No, he didn't. He was a catch and shoot player on the Knicks. This has been highly documented, bro, by the stats. The percentage of catch and shoot threes that Dante DiVincenzo got in the Knicks far outpaced what he does now. He's being asked to take a lot of shots off the dribble, and that's not his game. That's not his game.
Listen, on the let me. Y'all gotta make fun of me and act like I'm just some Knicks. The Knicks, they get the best out of players, man.
Oh God,
we make.
We just talk about Dante. Could we not?
No, I ain't talking about Dante. He was on the Knicks.
To talk about
Why
the
you
Knicks,
mad?
man?
Why are you mad? He was on the Knicks taking dribble pull up threes like Lou Will.
Was that his steady diet? Was that his steady diet? I'll pull the numbers right now. That wasn't his steady diet.
He has a reduced role. That's the problem. No, it's not the type of shots alone. No,
it is
because
the type of shots.
He had the ball in his hands a lot when he was on the Knicks.
That is true. He did.
He had more minutes on the Knicks.
That's true. But
I'm not fully disagreeing with you. I'm not fully disagreeing with you because yes, he was better off of catch and shoot, but that
was the majority of his shots. I'm trying to tell you there's data about this, bro.
But he was very formidable off the dribble. He was running pick
and Minnesota saw that and said, "You're gonna now do mostly that," and that's not his game.
No, the problem is he doesn't have the volume shots. No, that's the problem. The volume of shots.
The problem
You're just wrong.
And he wanted to be in New York. He don't want to be in Minnesota.
That's a fact. But guess what? The problem is that they need a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, which they have, and they said, forget all that. Go be a playmaker. For what? Just have him do what he does best, man. That's the problem, Minnesota. They don't know what they got. They're still figuring it out. There's a lot that we can say about their playoff run last year, but this season is showing us it might have been a fluke. They don't necessarily know what they're doing. They don't necessarely know.
It wasn't a fluke. They changed their whole roster.
No, we just talked about 2 players that are key to their rotations that we've indicated they are 3 players actually that they are using incorrectly. 4 players if you consider Rudy Gobert. There's something wrong over there, man.
Let me see.
Last season, DiVincenzo made the most threes in the league with a touch time of 0 to 2 seconds.
Okay.
Amassing a total of league best 253 triples. So if you're not going to tell me that he is primarily a catch and shoot guy, you're crazy.
But he's more than that, though.
I didn't say he's more than that. I'm talking about steady diet. If the primary function of his game is catch and shoot, if his best attribute is catch and shoot, in fact, he's the best person in the league at it last season. And the fact that he's not getting as many of those looks this year, that's the problem.
He's not getting many of any looks. That's the biggest problem.
That's also true.
He's not getting a lot of minutes like that. He has significantly less minutes right now.
Let me tell you something. There are a number of teams that get Dante DiVincenzo right now, and he looks like he did on the Knicks.
I don't know about that.
No,
yes,
let me tell you something. You sent him to the Mavericks, they know how to use him.
Oh,
nope.
You sent him to the Mavericks, they know how to use him 100%.
Because they got to find him.
Listen, Paul, you're focusing on his capacity and the fact that the Knicks let him use his full range of the game. We're talking about that the strength of his game. You can be productive not being allowed to use the full range of your game if you're catered to in the strength of your game. The problem with the Timberwolves is not that they're not letting him use his full range of the game. They're not catering to the strength of his game.
That's a fact. Now, let me ask you a question, Ro. Do you consider him to be a volume shooter?
No.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. He is.
The stats say he's not. He was one of the most corner shooter threes in the game last year.
Just because he took a lot of catches. He needs the ball in his hands, and he needs minutes, and he needs shots. He needs to be free. He had that on the Knicks. He's not going to get that anywhere else. Maybe for the rest of his career.
You're wrong.
I don't know if that's true.
You're wrong.
I'm telling you, there are a number of teams. He goes to the Warriors right now. They give it to him. He goes to the
I was just about to say he was on the Warriors earlier. I don't remember him letting them do all that. I feel like he was catch and shoot,
and he didn't look as good.
That's not true.
What
he
do you
looked
mean?
pretty good. Warriors.
He had the best year of his career last year.
That's true.
But that don't
It
mean he didn't
wasn't
look good
because
on
he
the
was looking
Warriors.
like Lou
He didn't
Will.
look as good as he did on the
Not
Knicks.
because
He
he was
never
looking
looked
like
good
Lou
like
Will.
that
It's
anywhere
because he's
else.
the best catch and shoot guy in the league. That's why he looked so good, man. And the freedom he
Yeah,
got to move around is because they
I'll
knew
say
the
this.
second the ball touched his hands, it could go up at any second.
You're just
Let me say this.
the data just purely contradicts what you're saying, Paul. This isn't even
No, it
opinion.
doesn't. Just
I'm
because he
looking
took a lot of
I'm
catch and
look-
shoot threes doesn't mean that he wasn't a
It's
volume
not
shooter.
tape. Wait, what?
I'm saying he needs the minutes, the time on the court, the touches to
He needs
feel
catch and
comfortable.
Threes is what he needs.
You said what?
He needs catch and shoot threes is what he needs.
He's not gonna make them if he only gets
Wait
three
a
of
second,
those a
hold on.
game.
I think we're going
That's
in
what I'm trying to
a
tell you.
big. Hold on, I think we're going in a big unnecessary circle because
I agree. That's what he's bringing up points that have nothing to do with what I'm saying. They're not. If you don't disagree that the strength of his game is catch and shoot, then there's nothing to argue with me about. He's not getting it in Minnesota.
I'm saying that's not the issue.
that is
No,
the
but
issue.
that is the issue.
That's
That
not
is the issue.
We're all
That's
saying
not the big. That's not the issue.
You're saying he's not getting minutes, he's not getting shots. We are agreeing with you. He's not getting the opportunity.
You're
But
right.
we're saying he could still be a very productive and strong player if the strength of his game was catered to. You
Correct.
somehow disagree with that, which I don't understand how.
Because it's that point is null and void if he's not getting the time, the touches, the minutes.
That's where that's where the data is just says you're wrong.
The data doesn't say I'm wrong on that. How does the data say I'm wrong? Because of his release time is short. Is short.
Yes, his most
No.
efficient part of his game is when he's catching and shooting.
That doesn't
you
make
can't
any
tell-
sense. So give him a lot of time. Give him more time. Let him get in
That
rhythm.
point, Paul is
That
correct.
doesn't make any sense. What are you
No,
talking?
but it-
Because his
hold on,
release
hold
time.
on,
That doesn't make any sense.
Hold on 1 second, because we're getting skewered here.
I agree.
You-
I'm moving us off of it. I'm just trying to get actually the clarity of Paul's point because I don't understand his point.
Paul's saying we're agreeing just in different trajectories. We all think he should get more minutes. Okay.
Sure.
Pharaoh and I are saying he should get more minutes to get more catch and shoot threes because that's what
Correct.
that's what he's best at. You're saying
Correct.
to get more minutes so he can get the ball in his hands and do more and be more like Lou Wills.
More specifically,
Whatever-
you're saying the problem with
whatever-
him not being a productive player is that you're saying if he got more minutes but was still only treated as a catch and shoot, he would not be good, and you're just wrong.
I didn't
That
know.
that
That's
that
not
point
what I
you're
said.
wrong about.
That's not what I said.
That is
No,
what you're saying.
No,
So
I'm
If
not.
he got
I'm
more
saying-
minutes, but it was still just primarily as a catch and shoot three guy, do you think he'd play well?
Yes.
Okay, so there's nothing to talk about then. That's
that's
all.
But
we're
the
saying.
problem is
That's all we're
the
saying.
problem is the minutes because even if he was being
We
utilized,
agreed.
We agreed. We agreed.
We agree with you.
there's a secondary point. But all right, let's
No,
continue.
we don't care.
And I know there is,
don't
which is
care.
you're
I'm
trying
gonna
not to
go
say it now
Go ahead,
because
go
you're doing
ahead,
that
go
thing
ahead.
where you clean up your own point. But I'm gonna let you
I'm
live.
not cleaning up my own
I'm
point.
gonna let you live.
That's
'cause you
why
really
I want to
wanna
make the
get-
secondary point because there's nothing to clean up. And I'm trying to prove that. But go
There's
ahead.
nothing to clean up. We already agree with you. We think.
Go ahead.
I
This
don't.
is-
I don't agree with what his
You know
real
what?
point
You
is.
know
that
what?
he's-
This is-
You see,
I-
that's
he
why I
wants
want
to.
to keep
He
talking.
wants to say his
That's
real
why I wanna
point. He
keep
wants to say his
talking.
real point, and I don't agree with it.
Okay.
Listen, and this, you know who I really blame for this? I blame the Minnesota Timberwolves because
I
they
do
don't
too.
know what they're doing over there. They don't know. We just had a
Mm.
5 to 10 minute conversation about how they are underutilizing a key player.
Two key players.
4 key
Not
players.
not
There
four,
should be
not
no
They're
comment.
overutilizing Rudy Gobert.
Okay. All right. Can I talk about Rudy for a second?
Rudy
Sure.
Gobert.
Can I talk about Rudy for a second? Look,
Alan and I were watching, and we saw the nastiest layup I've ever seen in my
He
damn
sucks.
life.
ridiculous.
It was
sucks.
really nasty. It was really
He's
nasty.
gross. He's not good.
At the
He's
same
not
time,
good.
Alan and I were in my mom's place, and we both go, "What the hell? Hold on, wait, man, what the hell? Hold on."
You
Listen,
have to actually watch him play. Stop only looking at advanced stats. That man is not good.
you know what the problem is though?
He has mastered being good at advanced stats. It's the nerd version of Angel Reese. Again, sorry to keep giving Angel Reese.
Damn.
Man, get a bag.
I'm sorry to keep giving her these drive-by shots. We love her.
He's about to
But
get her
in the
another
way
one.
that as a rookie with little skill, she mastered statistical production in order to be a productive player, which I give her credit for, but everyone still acknowledges she has a lot of growth to be good at the game.
That's a fact.
That is Rudy Gobert. He has somehow mastered
It's like worse.
how
though.
how to be
Yeah.
really good at certain stats that get tracked. But if you look at impact on game and skill and ability, he's terrible.
Mhm.
He's
me see.
Because he's
terrible.
French. They know how to finesse people.
Oh,
Oh nah. Oh
I'm not
nah.
gonna tell that.
no. Listen, it's almost Independence Day. Let me tell you something. You know what it is? All right.
Listen,
Hey, Nabule.
Hey,
all I'm gonna say is
Hey.
Rudy,
Hey, man. Hey.
Rudy Gobert has a lot of gravity on the court.
What?
That's
What?
It's the truth.
gravity?
It's
What?
the truth. It's the truth.
Wait, explain.
What did you just?
It's
No.
the truth.
What?
Gravity?
Gravity. He has a lot of-
Gravity?
when they use
Defying gravity more.
when
like-
they use him on the pick and
If
roll.
you can't find me, I'll look to the western sky.
Listen, all
As someone
Everyone deserves
recently
a chance to
told
fly.
me,
I guess that's true when Rudy's in
everyone
the paint.
deserves to fly.
Everyone gets a
Rudy
chance.
Gobert.
When Rudy's in the plate, everybody deserves a chance to fly, huh? That's what happens. That's what you're telling
Hey
me.
yo,
Come on.
NBA
Come on,
edit
man.
crew out there, I need you to make me an edit of Rudy Gobert defying gravity.
yeah.
'Cause that layup attempt defied gravity. You could find that
was-
layup in
no,
the
that
western
was
Bro,
sky.
wrong hand fading away.
Bro,
Come
he
on.
was wide. All he had to do was just take one.
Yeah, he was wide open
Come on,
too.
man. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That was nuts.
Your ass, bro. Your ass. Your ass. What's
But
going
the
on?
thing is, he has a lot of when you watch how they utilize him in the offense runs better. They get open shots when they focus more on Rudy than Julius. Right?
What?
Now, when Rudy gets the ball now,
What?
no, it's the truth. Now, when Rudy gets the ball now, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He never did. He never did.
That's
He
the problem.
never has. He never will.
You know,
He
he
never
plays
did.
like
That's a
He
fact.
never did.
he
That's a fact.
literally
That's
plays
the
like
quality
a
ground,
fifth
man.
grader who's like nervous to play in his first game.
He's
ever.
that
Yes,
guy. He's
yes.
that guy who came back after 6th grade summer and grew 7 inches and doesn't know how to use his limbs.
That's a
Except
fact.
he's 32.
No, I know it's like that. From high school.
You know those
It's
kids.
like that from high school.
Use growth
like
spurts
that.
and don't know what to do with it, and you feel so jealous. You be like, "Yo, fam,
His name
do you
so
know what I would
bad.
do if I was 6'4"?
Uncoordinated. He's the most uncoordinated NBA athlete I've ever seen.
Uncoordinated. It's
The man is
uncoordinated.
30 years old and still hasn't grown into his body. You can see it when he gets in fight. He doesn't know how to throw punches.
No, that's a
He
fact.
just knows
man.
that he's
Winding up
tall
like
and that he
this.
should be able
Man,
to
be
bully
winding up
guys.
like this. What are you doing?
But again, I do see why Minnesota kind of believes in him, right? I see because he has a lot of gravity, and they're hoping that he's gonna be able to make an open layup. But
He has gravity because we're coming over to steal the ball.
that's a fact. That's a fact. No,
If he gets the ball on
a fact.
offense, we are coming over to get that basketball.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Whatever works, I guess. I don't know.
It's right. So they get open looks off of that, But
That's
But then he
crazy.
doesn't-
Thirst
talk
over
about
a
Rudy
trash
Gobert.
player. The defense
You gotta
gets thirsty to take it from our worst offensive player.
yes,
He's so bad that
The
it works.
fact that-
That's
the fact that
hilarious.
on both sides of the ball, Rudy Gobert is considered food is ridiculous.
He is.
he's not food on the defensive side of the
Yes,
ball.
he is. If I'm a guard, I'm calling for that pick and roll immediately every time.
He
What?
plays well. Okay, on the perimeter, yes.
And in modern NBA, that means you're food. If I can
The fact that
drag
as a
you
big
out
man,
on a
we can't-
switch and kill you, you're food.
We
I don't
can't
care
trust-
that you're gonna
There's
be at
a
the
reason
rim
he's
waiting
still
for
in the
me if
league.
I
That's all I'm
drive.
saying. I see why he's still in the league.
Because I'm not paying him $200 million to be home.
Oh, that's why.
The fact that we can't
It's
trust
Utah's
that-
fault. They gave him that contract, and now he'll forever have a job because ain't nobody paying him to sit at home. $200 million.
Listen, the fact that as a big man we can't trust him to hold the ball, just hold the ball in the low post, there's a problem.
He and Ben Simmons are on the same value contract. When it's over, there will not be another one.
No, that's a fact.
They're
Yo,
not getting an extension. They're not getting
Rudy Gobert gonna be on
re-signed.
somebody bench, man. He's gonna come
Yeah,
out
all
and
right.
take it back up.
He'll be on the French national team bench.
That's right.
They did bench him one game. Remember that? They benched him one game.
It's the next Olympics.
when they
His
had
his
when
spot
they
is
had
gone.
Cat.
I don't know what you're talking.
When they had Cat's gone now. They can't afford to bench him with Julius. We gotta talk about Julius. In the
Cat was never on the French team. What are you
Listen.
talking about?
No. Wait, are you talking about Minnesota, Alan?
I said
No,
the French,
I said
Oh,
French
yeah.
benched him one
That's
game.
because that's
Yeah.
Wemby's spot. He's
They
just
had
keeping
Wemby.
it warm.
They had Wemby.
Yeah, one day Rudy Gobert is gonna be a Hall of Fame. Just think about that.
No, he's not.
No, he's for what?
Yes,
For
he
what?
will.
For
They're
what?
gonna put him in. They're gonna put him in
Hell
there
no.
for
Hell
DPOY
no.
wise. They're gonna
Very
put him
weird.
in.
Hell no.
He gonna go to
If
Springfield,
it's
Massachusetts.
debatable
with a
whether
pink
Dwight
shirt.
Howard's gonna make it, Rudy Gobert is not getting it.
It's not. It's not. You think it's debatable that Dwight don't make
The
it?
narrative says it is.
I don't think it's debatable. But I'll tell you what, if Dwight makes it, Rudy definitely making it.
That's a fact.
What?
3-time defensive player of the year.
4-time defensive
That's what they look at. That's what they look
Okay.
at.
Is Ron
He's
Artest
gonna
making
win. Ooh, that's a good one.
Who?
How many
All right,
Right.
then. All
defensive
right.
player of the year?
Run-
Is
run-
Bruce
run-
Bo-
run-
is
run-
Bruce
run-
is Bruce Bowen making it?
They had 4.
Okay then.
They had
Okay,
3
then.
defensive players of the year.
Right. How many does Rudy have at this point? 3 or 4?
4. He's got 4.
He's making
Bro,
it.
Rudy's making it, bro.
He's making it, man. What are you talking about?
He doesn't
Rudy gonna be in the Hall of Fame. That's nuts.
That's the
No.
start.
Draymond Green's gonna be in the Hall of Fame too.
Fact.
He deserves it.
What?
Turn your fan off, Paul. It meant that he could do that low key, like the whole world wouldn't hear. They tried to look into the camera like we didn't know who it was.
Paul, you
Like we don't
funny
hear that
as
same
hell.
fan
No,
in the 2K party all night. I know that fan. I
Paul
know
was
that
looking
fan
into
for
the
5
camera
years.
like he didn't know what's going on either.
No, I just saw everybody freeze up. I didn't hear what y'all said. I said, wait, what?
Nah, you mad funny. You looked into the camera like you ain't know what's going on either.
I really didn't know. I didn't hear what was said. I just saw everybody stop.
You was all confused. That was hilarious.
I didn't hear what
That
anybody just
actually
said.
just threw me all the way up. What was I just saying?
Rudy's
Gobert.
Hall of Fame.
No, but all right. Anyway, moving on. The next game on this docket was also a really. Oh, sorry, we didn't discuss quality of the game. What did y'all think of the quality of the game? I want to chime in on this one because I feel like 2 things reared its ugly head that I think are main parts of the complaint that a lot of people have about NBA basketball. Injury. I mean, so this is what I was saying. Remember how I said that a Minnesota Mavericks matchup should be one of the most highly marketed games this year because it's a conference finals rematch, and it's the 2 young guys who are battling to be the best player in the league soon in Luka and Ant, right?
Mhm.
And we get that. We get a Christmas Day matchup of it, and Luka, who's been out pretty much in and out all year, goes out in the second quarter, robs us of this back-to-back. So that's definitely been, we talked at length about the injuries this year. And then it's the other thing. With the 3-point shooting this year, not this year, this era, the style of play, this get down by 30 and come back, it happens. And I remember we had an argument about it a while ago, and I said this, like, being down 20 is regular. It's not even, it doesn't matter. It's regular. Teams just allow teams to go on these runs where they're not defending and they let a bunch of threes go in and they're down 20 and everyone's calm and it's fine with it happening because they know that we can do one of our own and we'll go on a 28 run hitting 7 threes and we'll come back. But what kind of game is that to watch? A game of trading 20-point leads or a game. I mean, a great comeback feels good. But does it, and it's entertaining, but is it entertaining when you look at it and realize it's unnecessary?
Unnecessary.
So it felt, I wouldn't say I got the unnecessary feel from this game because it felt inevitable. In fact, it even felt heroic at certain points because you lose your best player and you're expected to drop. You're expected to drop heavy, not 26 heavy, but you're expected to drop at least 20 points.
But no, right? Like you said, not 26 heavy. You have an all-star point guard still out there and a Western Conference Finals roster that is improved. And so the way they were able to come back and the way they were able to compete down the stretch, why wasn't that adjustment made earlier? Why do you have to go down 20 before Kyrie realized he has to put his cape on?
That's a fact. No, that's a good point. And I don't have an answer for that, if I'm being completely honest.
I think it's a Kyrie thing, to be honest with you. I think Kyrie tries to be a team player at times where he tries to get everybody else going before he tries to take over. And I think when the game was winding down, he said, we might lose this game if I keep doing this.
We might lose. They were down 30 at a certain point, bro. Like,
no, and that's when he turned up because, like you said, 20 is nothing.
But so I guess that's my point, right? Why is that the trend in today's game that star players wait until it's absolutely dire to turn it on?
Well, it's because of the 3-point shot.
Everyone wants to be Tracy McGrady.
No, it's too much. No, it's a fact. Everybody does. And you don't got to be. I feel like the minute Luca went down, Kyrie should have turned up. Immediately.
You're supposed to flip
Turn
the
up
switch
This
immediately.
is your time.
This is what I've always said about Jaylen Brown, right? This is why I respect the relationship Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum going. The two of them don't wait. The minute they see the other one doesn't have it, they go. And now that has fooled some people, including on this podcast, into thinking it's debatable who's the better player of them, but it's not. They just both understand their job. Jaylen Brown understands his job. When you are the 1B, when you are the second best player, if the first guy doesn't have it going, you are supposed to go. And Jaylen Brown is the second best player in the league because he understands that. The minute Jason Tatum doesn't go in the second quarter, Jaylen Brown is going. He's not waiting till they're down 35 to decide, oh, I should go. JT doesn't have it tonight. And that's why the Celtics are who they are.
That's a fact. And a lot of teams could learn from that. A lot of teams could learn. A lot of players could. Paul George, I'm looking at you. A lot of players could learn from that.
Was the game still close by? I don't remember. Was the game still close by the time Luka went down?
Yeah.
What was the score?
It was relatively close. I think it was like within 5 points or something like that.
Yeah, it was back and forth the whole game. And that's even bigger point from a game IQ standpoint. Kyrie knows better than that. You have a back and forth game and Luka goes out. You can't let that back and forth nature slip because you don't know if you can do a 30-point comeback. Right? So if you're going back and forth, you have to keep that momentum going and keep this game close and give yourself a shot at the end. Otherwise, you're going to be tired by the end of the game, and that's when you miss short on your 3-pointer to give yourself the lead.
Right. Literally right. Also, Clay, what did he end up finishing with?
He had a decent game.
I'm not talking about decent. Hold on.
Yeah, he had well, I mean, not decent. He had 12 points on
12 damn points.
Yeah, but he only shot threes, so he was 4 or 10. He hit 4 threes on 40%. That's a good game.
That's not what they brought him in there for.
That's exactly what they brought him in there for.
No. They did not bring him in here to be 4 of 10.
That's exactly what they brought him in there
to be 4 of 10?
He's
from the three. From the three, that's 40%.
4 of 10 from the 3 is great.
He's
That's
not
great.
like that anymore,
5 of
Andre.
8 3.
5 of 8.
No, that's an impossible pace. That 5 of 8 is a great game. He didn't have a great game. He had a good game.
He had a
5 of 8.
game. He had the kind of game that he's asked to have. 4 of 10
that's
from
not
3.
5 of 8. That's not. They don't
of 8 is
need that from
completely
every night, bro.
But he
5
hasn't
of
been
8
having them. That's my point.
Completely doable in the rent.
Okay, but you got the game out of him that night that you asked for. You got 4 threes out of Clay on 40%. My real question is, where was PJ Washington?
Nowhere to be found.
That's what we need to ask for. Because you know why, though? Because Kyrie waiting, he didn't slot guys into their progression. When the best player goes down, everyone's supposed to move up. If Kyrie doesn't move up, PJ Washington doesn't get to assert himself as the second guy. And then you're pressing at the end of the game. Now Kyrie Irving shot 27 shots. PJ Washington has only shot 8.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I don't know, man. A strong team is better than a strong player. Like an unstoppable team is more unstoppable than just an unstoppable player. So I think Kyrie was thinking about it like that. Like, let me get my guys going. And then on the defensive end too, they weren't getting it done. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at the defensive end too.
So how much improved is this Mavericks team then?
A lot.
It's very improved.
I think
It's just like
they
Luka
just
went down.
didn't. I think they're too dependent. They have to learn how to play multiple ways, especially with the way Luka's health has been going this year. You can't only play the Luka ball dominant way. We've seen this before with many players, with James Harden, yada yada yada, etc. You have to learn how to play multiple ways. They should have packages for even when Luka's not hurt, when he's just off the floor. When they sub Luka out, they should have an offense. They should have a package designed around Kyrie and all these shooters.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but I think it's gonna happen. Sometimes you just need like a Kickstarter to force you to do that. And now it looks like Luka's about to be out for a significant amount of time. So they're gonna develop that now. Kyrie's going to be that guy now. I think he's capable of it. So
think about my point broader though. Have you all noticed that that's a thing in the NBA? And do you think that's a valid
the
criticism? Just allowing these
like
huge
the comeback
deficits.
wins.
Yeah,
No,
not even the
no,
comeback
criticism,
wins,
no,
because that's
we-
framing it positively. But that in the course of these NBA games that we're subjected to watch teams go down by 30
Yeah, I think it's a good point.
regularly.
I think it's a good point, but I think it also goes back to like what I was trying to say before. Like part of the reason they go down a lot is because a lot of teams take bad quality shots
Facts.
and it does not make for good basketball. And so when they come back, when they come back from like big deficits, it tends to be because they just start making shots that they're missing in the first half or whatever. So
And is
yeah,
that bad
I think it all it's bad basketball. I think because like
Let
I
me
said,
say-
it's bad. It's not fun to watch. It's not appealing to watch.
Yeah, I don't want to watch a team be down by 30.
Yeah.
All right, let me say this, right? Because what I'm about to say, I've been wanting to say since for a few weeks now.
Get your Paul bingo cards out, Fast Breaks family.
The last time we
Merch
talked about,
idea.
listen, the last time we talked about the 3-point shooting issue, since that time I've been thinking about it a lot.
Good.
The way you fix this issue in the NBA is not by just telling people to just be more entertaining. It's on the defensive end.
I was gonna say, yeah, is it a 3-point problem or is it a defensive intensity problem?
I don't know if it's a defensive intensity problem because the 3-point shot is the hardest shot to stop. How do you
Is
stop?
it?
I mean, it's hard. It's easy to defend and make difficult, but you can't stop it. It's hard. It's the hardest shot to block.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Why?
So think about it like this, right? First of all, you don't have to cover as much ground to get to your shot because it's a far shot, right? Once you pass half court, everything is a 3 until you get past the 3-point line, right? That's the first thing. The second thing, usually it has a highest arc on it, right? And so for those two reasons, it's one of the hardest shots to stop. However, nobody has found a way. I thought Dylan Brooks with the high five defense. I thought that was gonna
Man, that's so old. I hate that we start assigning new things to new play. Like Bruce Bowen is
see it a lot,
putting it-
though.
Bruce Bowen and Shane Battier are rolling in their grave. They've been doing that since
They're still
2001.
alive.
They're still
Whoa,
alive.
whoa.
Hey, they're alive.
Wow.
Hey, wait a minute.
I don't know. Shane Battier looked kind of dead after that Lakers Rockets series in 09. I'm just saying.
Come on, that man didn't come back to life on the Heat.
That's a
Oh, you're right. Nah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. LeBron brought him back to life. You're right.
I love LeBron, right? That's crazy. But yeah, no, that's how we stop it. Because at the end of the day,
But what does that speak to? Doesn't that speak to intensity? Isn't Dylan Brooks known for being one of the most defensively intense players in the
it's a
league?
strategy, though. It's a strategy. I think it's more than intensity. I think it's a
But
strategy.
don't you have to be? When I say intensity, right? I don't just mean rah. I mean like to be as intentional and invested in defense that you're employing specific strategies based on scouting and you're exerting effort. That's what I mean by intensity, the exertion of effort and intention and attention to detail, right? Like that's why Dylan Brooks does that, because he goes so hard on defense. He's thinking about strategies and techniques and things of that nature.
True.
And most of these players are, I think, satisfied with putting a hand up.
I think it's a team issue. That's what I think it is. Because it's a bigger issue than just players. I think teams are putting up a lot of threes. Everybody's putting up a lot of threes right now. And all of these threes aren't good threes, but some of the bad threes go in too. Because the 3-point shot is the hardest shots to defend.
You're talking about offense. I'm talking about defense. Is there not?
Right.
Is it that teams
Well,
are they conceding that, hey, guys are going to shoot threes and we have to live with whether they make them or not?
I think that's what coaches.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
So then that to me is a defensive intensity problem.
On the players,
coaches are not investing in employing or empowering their teams to play intense defense. They're worried about matchups and help coverage, but how about teaching these guys to defend shots?
So So how do
I
you?
feel like they want the worst shooter on the floor to shoot, and they're just worried about that. Let's not let certain guys shoot. But how about contesting shots?
Well, okay, let me ask you a question. How do you properly, as a team, defend the 3-point shot in the NBA?
Contest.
It's an easier said than done to contest to really contest a 3-point shot.
I don't know. If
Have
you're-
the rules impacted this? Because now you have the
That's what I was
the
gonna say.
flagrant if you step under, the flagrant
That's
if you
what I'm
That was
trying to
really
say.
my point. That was really
It's
my point.
hard.
I feel like it's much harder for them to do it now, so they don't even do it.
I don't know. Luke Cornett
Because
looked like he figured it out for a second.
Hold on, Andre, hold on. 'Cause I feel like contesting a shot from a little bit of distance is probably worth it to them more than potentially risking a flagrant or a foul on a 3-point shot. So I feel like the rule change may be a point that you're getting at, Rose. So I feel like that has to do with it. But also could be like these guys just don't know how to properly. They
That's
never
what I
learned
mean.
they never learned fundamentally from like a young age on how to properly contest a 3-point shot. That could be it too.
I mean, I feel like that's the culture in youth basketball now. Like no one cares about clamping. It's about outscoring each other.
Yes.
Right? Like my matchup is determined by whether I score more points against my guy, not about how well I defended my guy. I don't think anyone's going out in youth and intermediate basketball with the goal of not only am I trying to outscore my opponent, I'm trying to hold him under his averages. That used to be the sign of a superstar.
That's a
Not
fact.
only does he bust your ass, but you don't do what you usually do against that person. But now I feel like it's a your turn, my turn again between opponents. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get your bucket, you gonna let me get my bucket, and we can see who's going to make more shots between the two of us. But we're not really trying to stop you.
But I think this is where the difference in errors come into play, though, because guys are better at shooting now. So it's okay. Look, when you have a guy that could hit a shot, a 3-point shot at a high level, difficult shot, all of that. What are you supposed to do? Right? Step up. Don't let him get to that shot. But then when he blows by you, then what? It makes these guys and
What happened to prioritizing making the offense take tough twos?
What do you mean? Tough tools?
Doesn't if everything is analytics driven, wouldn't the analytics say that we'd be better off selling out against 3-point attempts and allowing guys to take one dribble pull-ups?
They're not going to take one dribble pull-ups. They're going to go to the rack and then drop off to the big man. It's hard. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why that last conversation we had was I thought about it a lot since that last conversation. The way offense is in the NBA, it's so difficult to stop. It's going to take somebody revolutionary as a coach to come in and say, this is a brand new strategy that we have to stop the 3-point shot. And whoever comes in with that strategy is going to end up winning the chip. I'm telling you.
Well, the last big adjustment made
change
to
the
stop
NBA.
3-point offense that worked was Ty Lue with aggressive switching. But
Right.
NBA offenses have figured out how to beat switching because now they just matchup hunt, which also Ty Lue figured out. LeBron and Ty Lue figured out. But now, I mean, drop is not the answer.
It's not. It's not.
Because
Tim's got to explain that, and I don't like that.
The problem with drop is the idea behind drop was that I'm going to give up the mid-range, but now the screen is being set, so it's a double thing, right? Because the guys can shoot from so far now, I have to go out to guard them past 3-point line, which then allows the screen to be set past 3-point line, which means if you're in drop, you're no longer giving up a mid-range pull-up.
It's a 3.
You're giving up a 3.
It's a 3. Oh, open 3.
So what happened to aggressive trapping? Because what every team doesn't have, is a Draymond Green and a short roll. And we saw that against the Mavericks. When they started trapping the Mavericks and asked Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively to make reads out of the short roll, they couldn't. Why are more teams not doing that?
That's a fact. Because I think these coaches are not as good as they used to be, honestly. Like guys
I think coaches aren't invested enough in stopping a guy to be willing to sell out and trap high.
True.
And there's no rotation because the thing is they're trapping high, the screen is slipping, and then they're just rotating a 3-point up the wing.
Yep.
And so it's turning into wide open threes, but that shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, that's a fact. And I'm telling you, like the coach that comes in with this new strategy to stop the 3-point shooting, that's when you're going to start to see the 3-point shots go down, the mid-range go back up. That's what it takes. We're not going to get to a point where we're not taking bad threes anymore by just saying we don't like this. This is not cool.
Just
we miss the old
like,
NBA. You got to stop it. And then force teams to go back to that side. That side.
I don't know if it's a go back. I just want, because I'm not really mad at how the offense is structured, to be honest, personally. I think it's good. I think what we're saying is we feel like the league is conceding to how good offenses are. And that turns into bad quality basketball.
Facts.
Because it's just a shootout. I don't care that that's your offensive strategy. I don't want to watch shootouts because in a shootout, shootouts can look really good if both teams are making shots. But if one team goes cold, that's when we get these 30 point deficits. Because it's a shootout with a team who isn't making shit.
69-97.
Like,
yeah.
That's I think what's being missed in the narrative. It's not about, I don't need them to shoot differently. It's the fact that if you as a team, if you're cold and you're not going to adjust to like getting stops, then what are we doing?
That's facts. That's facts.
Any final points on that before we go to Celtics Sixers?
No.
Nah, because actually what I wanted to say about the Celtics Sixers is because what you brought up about the trapping and stuff, I was going to bring up with the Celtics Sixers. I think they did actually try that against Tyrese Maxey.
Because the Celtics, and that's why the Celtics are who they are.
Yeah, they're a good defensive team, and that's their best quality. But even then, he was still able to figure out and beat it. He used his quickness to get around.
Yeah, but then, look how hard he had to work, and then we got a really close game. And then that's the most entertaining. Watching a star player have to work hard to score. And watching the greatness of a player actually execute against good defense.
That's what made Kobe, man.
Exactly. The fact that he would hit 50 with 3 people on him. I don't care about these 40-point games where you had 8 wide open 3-pointers. Like,
well, what you say, Alan? he was wide open. Devin Booker when he got that 70.
That's right. And yo, I'll be saying this.
They were blowing him out.
Those of y'all, hey, and this is
blowing him out. Nah, hold on.
Yo, shout out to those of y'all that tuned in to watch us on Twitch. You saw us in our debut in the Pro-Am. Trust, we're gonna get better, but you seen what we do in the rec. So we've mastered the playground. We're just getting ready to go pro, and there's gonna be a learning curve. But shout out to y'all that tuned in. But y'all know that I've been consistent on this point. I'm tired of watching us play against teams and they put up these great offensive numbers because of wide open shots. These guys are not nice. They're shooting wide open shots.
That's a fact.
And so either we need to defend these shots, or we need to find out how to get our shot profile to get wide open shots too. Because we're sitting here working hard as hell, scoring on defense, and I'm sitting here watching my matchup get 6 wide open corner threes on a fast break. No pun intended. Actually, no pun intended. That's a bar. Drop the bomb, Paul. That's nasty work.
Only people with IQ.
Tune in.
But no one wants to watch that. No one wants to watch a game of players all shooting wide open shots. The same problem with the All-Star game. No one wants to watch a game of guys shooting wide open shots.
That's whack.
I could watch a practice if I want to do that. I could watch a shoot around if I want to do that. I want to see guys make contested jumpers. That's the era of basketball I grew up on. Making contested jumpers.
You know that's
something
crazy.
On people.
You know how many times I watched the NBA and I'm like, that's tough? 0.
I do see it, but those are the great games where I'm like, oh, this is tough. And this is one of those games. Let me set it up. Joel N.b.a popped up from a pregame fall in the most ridiculous, goofy way I've ever seen.
Oh man, this guy he cannot help himself, bro.
Just backing up onto people's feet. So he popped up from pregame fall and scored 27 points with 9 rebounds, making 4 or 5 from 3-point range and sinking a pair of free throws with 3 seconds left to turn back Boston's final rally and lead the Sixers to a 118-114 victory on Wednesday. Tyrese Maxey, whose team it is, had 33 points and 12 assists. He scored 13 in the fourth quarter, including a quick trigger layup to open a 7-point lead with about a minute left after the Sixers inbounded the ball with 1.1 on the clock. Caleb Martin had the game of his life, scored 23 points, hitting 7 and 9 from 3-point range. Jason Tatum scored, whose team it is, scored 32 with 15 rebounds for Boston. Jaylen Brown scored 23. Derek White had 21. Celtics center Kristaps Porzingis, who missed all but 9 games this season with injuries, did not return for the second half after he also goofily stepped on his own fucking foot and had got an ankle injury.
He's been kind of
Um,
awkward, man.
Alan, this is your game. Break it down for me, and then let's talk about the quality of the game, which we've already sort of teased.
Yeah.
So just give us a quick breakdown of what you saw in the game, and then we'll get back to what we were talking about.
This game was actually really good for me. I like this game a lot because I thought this was going to be the worst game on the slate.
High
So,
key.
I
yeah,
didn't.
key.
I thought I
Actually,
was like Andre said, I was with Andre, and I kept saying like this game's going to be so whack because these guys didn't play together. And Joel Embiid is about to be injured again. I really thought that, and then they said that goofy stuff with in the pregame. But
Y'all see the video?
yeah, I saw the video. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god!
this guy's nuts.
What did they say in the pregame?
You seen the coach? The coach was like,
he almost got injured. Yeah.
the coach.
Whoa.
It's like that old Kevin Hart joke when he said, "How Shaq falls." Oh,
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
get
it
your
was a
ass,
great
get up,
game.
get up.
I will say this, like bro, you just said it's Tyrese Maxey's team.
it
I don't know
is.
if I'm there yet, but he acted
bro.
like it for sure on Sunday or Christmas Day. I keep saying Sunday. On Christmas Day. The whole game, like I said before, the Celtics, who are the best defensive team in the league, tried to use their length against Tyrese Maxey, and he wasn't having it. He used his quickness. He had 12 assists that game, bro. Like Tyrese Maxey is evolving right before our eyes
And 3 steals, by the way.
He's becoming 3 steals. He's becoming the best player on the team. He's not there yet, but he's becoming that. And Joel Embiid needs to shape up because Tyrese Maxey is coming to take the team over. So what I liked about what the Sixers did is that they did not let the Celtics get their game plan off. The Celtics clearly was trying not to foul Joel Embiid. And so they just, like, whenever he tried to post up, they sent 2 guys at him, and they wouldn't rotate to a 3-point man, which is why Caleb Martin got 7 and 9. For the life of me, I can't understand why the Celtics just let that happen because Joel Embiid did not.
Analytics.
Yes, that's the thing. Yes, that's the thing. They played the numbers, but I feel like at some point when you see this guy's on fire and making it, you adjust. Like I get that being your main game plan, but you at some point you adjust. But
they won a game 7 real quick, Alan. They won a game 7 because the Milwaukee Bucks refused to do that against Grant Williams when he turned into Grant Curry.
Yes,
they said God bless him if Grant Williams beats us, and he beat you.
Yep. So playing the percentages is not always the best thing, but I was also gonna say like that's just part of the regular season at this point. We don't see real adjustments until playoff time, and I don't know if that's because the volume of games is too much to try to do that. So you just stick to one game plan at a time. But I digress. They let Caleb Martin go off and make all these threes because he's not a great three-point shooter, but he's capable of making them. So I couldn't for life understand why they just let them get the
He's
off.
7 and 9 good. I'll say that.
He couldn't be. He's not. He's no chump, and that's why for life I couldn't figure out like why rotate off of him. And Joel Embiid, he did a great job he recognized what they're doing, right? He recognized that they were trapping in the paint. So all he did was just face up and stand a little bit outside where they didn't trap him, and it opened up the floor a little bit. Maxey, like I said before, he did not let them trap him. They tried to ball pressure him up the court. He didn't let them do that. He is so fast. He's so strong. He's so good that opened the floor up and got mad people wide open. And I just think the Celtics got outsmarted by the Sixers, and I think that was a really good game. What we saw the Sixers finally kind of figure it out. We saw them at their peak, what it could be with all 3 guys on the floor because that was the first time they played and finished the game together, or the third time, I think the broadcast said.
Yes.
So it was a game of matchups and using the strengths against a specific matchup. I think if the Celtics played them today, I think we see them do things differently. But overall, it was a really good game. And Tyrese Maxey came out and did his thing, man. And the theme of the Christmas Day games to me was the stars and like fringe all-stars that we talked about.
What the league needed their guys to show up.
Exactly. And that's what Christmas Day is about. Like I said earlier, like Christmas Day, I remember stars doing their thing ever since I was a little kid first watching basketball. I remember Christmas Day being about the stars going off on Christmas Day. And I think Tyrese Maxey did that. Kyrie Irving did that. Wemby did that. Mikal Bridges did that. And that's what the NBA needed on Christmas Day. And it was great.
Just to add on a couple more points before we get into the quality of the product argument that we already kind of started. Injury bug shows its head again. So that's a part of the quality of product as well. Things I saw that I liked. There was a 3-point cold streak. So the game almost descended into the nastiness we're talking about. But then, like you said, the trapping happened, which allowed for us to see some dynamic play, which was great.
Sorry, one last thing I forgot to say. They took care of the ball extremely well.
That's what I was going to say. Philly only had 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
Only 9 turnovers in the entire game. That's high-quality basketball. That's IQ.
High quality.
Tyrese is a star, and they beat Boston without a strong game from PG, which I think speaks volumes. Jaylen Brown, for all the credit I give him, I think one of the main issues the Celtics had is that he didn't give the game back. I think in the third quarter, Jason Tatum overall had a strong game in aggregate, right? 35 points. Yeah. I think he didn't have it going in the third quarter. Jaylen Brown did his job. He went off. He had like a 14-point solo run in the third quarter, but then he did not give the game back. And he kept trying to go in the fourth quarter, and he went cold. And the Celtics offense stalled, and that gave the Sixers the run they needed to get up. So I think that's it's two sides of the coin, right? Kyrie might have waited too late to take the game. Jaylen Brown didn't give the game back in time.
He waited too long.
Yes. So that's all I just wanted to point out in terms of the specific teams in the game. Let's get back to what we're talking about, quality of the game. One of the biggest things that I think contributed, to the quality of this game, very little whistle.
Thank you. And we got to talk about that more.
Very little whistle. This was a physical game. They allowed the trap. But that's the thing. I think when you're doing trap, I think the officiating responds to the game. If we're doing one-on-one coverage and guys are shooting 3-pointers, we're going to protect the shooter. We're going to protect the shooter. We're not going to let you beat him up. But when you're trapping and basketball dictates that, the defense is forcing you to get rid of the ball or make a physical play, they're going to allow the teams to be physical. They let this game be very physical, and I think that was part of why it was so good. Dre, talk to me about what you saw in terms of quality of the product, physicality, trapping on defense, offenses stars having to actually be stars on offense, not just making open shots.
Well, I mean, look at all of Tyrese Maxey's buckets. Almost none of them came off of open shots. It was a lot of him piercing through the penetration, getting in, and being able to finish for either not necessarily. Hold on. Not necessarily opening it. But he's finishing in the paint a lot. That goes to the credit to N.b.a, but it becomes a more physical game that way. You're really breaking through. And when you're having that style of offense, there was a lot of Joel Embiid buckets that came from kickouts from that kind of play style. So being able to be more physical and force your way in, number one, it creates a more exciting game. Number two, we saw a lot on the other side. We're talking about Jaylen Brown. There was this wild layup he put up where he was basically like flopping.
Oh, that was wild. That was
flopped like midair, but it's still winning. And it's like, oh, that's exciting. I want to see you guys get hit. I don't want to see what we were
saying. Yeah.
Get in there. Go do something. So it
violence, yes.
Violence. No, but his thing, he didn't even actually get hit. He was anticipating contact, and when he jumped, and the contact didn't come, he was like, "Oh, no one's gonna hit me," and then just shot the floater.
Right. So it was definitely probably one of the more physical games of the day, actually, and which obviously creates a. I'm excited to watch it. I feel like other people were excited to watch it. And I think obviously the trap style obviously helps in terms of refereeing, because this is something we actually didn't talk about earlier when it comes to shooters also. There was something about the Knicks game that really pissed me off, and Alan and I spoke about it, where Wemby was going for his 45th point, and there was a foul that occurred, and they gave it, and they erased his point. And since then, he couldn't get into rhythm.
Man. That was an automatic bucket in 2009.
Yes. And it killed the momentum. It killed the momentum
of the game, yeah.
And honestly, the Knicks played incredibly well, but like if it wasn't for the refs doing that, I don't know that we pull away. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So my thing with that was like, it wasn't even like a, like it wasn't the end of a game situation where they need to figure out if this point winner or not. Like they could have made that call like on the fly and kept the game going.
Right.
But they stopped the game and it halted the game in real lifetime, like 5-6 minutes. And Wemby did not. I don't think Wemby scored after that. Actually, when I think about it,
actually,
It was a rep.
it was a rep. But like
Well,
Wemby was in the midst of going on. It was him, and I don't know if it was Mikal Bridges or like everybody else on this. Like it was the both teams were going back and forth. Is my point. Like it was in the midst of a back and forth that happened. The game stops for 5-6 minutes real lifetime, and the game's just not the same after that. And it was just exciting back and forth basketball, and it was fun to watch. And all the momentum just got shot. It was just sucked out the room.
Sucked out of the room completely.
And I like what the WNBA does, which like if it's not a challenge, but it's a play that they need to review, they make a call on the floor and they review it at the next timeout.
The NBA used to do that. I remember that used to be a thing. I don't know when it changed, but they used to do that.
Like
but even then, like
you used to come back from the break and they'd be like, over the break, the refs reviewed it, and actually that shit doesn't count. Like,
right. But I guess for this shot specifically, that would have been hard because it was an and one foul. So it would have been weird if they just retroactively took it away. But I just don't think it is needed to be reviewed. They keep the call on the floor as it was.
You took someone out, you stole the momentum away, and this has been a big problem that refs have been criticized.
Let the Knicks challenge it. I feel like with the challenge, I feel like I liked when they put more replay in, because there were like big calls that were getting called wrong, and like mandating the refs to review it was good, because like make it right. They're gonna make this huge call. But now that the teams can challenge, I feel like that should remove all the review obligations off the ref. You can challenge it if you don't like the call. Challenge it, but we're gonna keep playing. If you want to stop the game and challenge it, call a timeout and challenge it.
Exactly.
What happens is these refs,
otherwise, we're not reviewing this until timeout.
What happens is these refs, and people have talked about it so much. There are ejections happening that are completely unnecessary. There are stoppages in play that happen that suck away the momentum. Pause. And there's just so much.
Christ,
it's just so much that we don't attribute to the refs. The refs have been a bad part of this game for the better part of 5 years now, and we need to really do a deep dive evaluation of them. N.b.a, investigate your refs. No,
you know what? They don't.
We got some Donaghy's in the NBA.
Someone made this point on Twitter, and I agree. The refs don't contribute to the entertainment anymore.
No,
and they used to. They used to protect the game. And play, and you used to hear it and mic'd up. Sometimes the players would get mad about it, but at the end of the day, it worked. Like sometimes the ref would come over and be like, "Hey, like so and so, like it was the flow of the game. I had to let that one go." And Allen Iverson would be like, "Man, I don't care about the flow of the game." And he'd be like, "Sure, you can be mad about that, but like I liked refs having that in mind. Like, yes, ref the game, but part of being the steward of the game is making it a clean, smooth game, right? Like."
You know what the problem is? The refs are operating.
I miss emphatic charge block calls. I miss emphatic and one calls.
Listen,
that would tell you the refs were invested in the game. When they would make a crazy and one call and point at the guy on the ground, like that was a part of the game. Like
point at the guy on the ground is crazy, but that used to happen.
These refs, man. Just like a lot of execs and front office guys are really accountants that don't know the game of basketball. I wonder how many refs are just referees that don't actually know the game of basketball. I truly wonder.
Listen, the problem is the refs are operating like the ops. That's the problem.
Oh,
they operate. I'm not gonna.
You call them 5-0. Hold on.
I'm not gonna get political, but like they act like we're here to punish you.
We're here to police your neighborhoods.
No, they are here to
police your neighborhoods.
But you know why? That's because there's so much manipulation of the game happening now. And so now the refs, in protecting the game, they're almost like we have to protect the game for the fans from the players. Yeah, like the players are the ones manipulating the game and like taking away from the style and disservicing the fans, and we have to not allow them to do that.
Yes, which is why they punish passion so much. Which is why some of these refs are too sensitive. Which is why all of that's going on. Listen.
There's a lack of respect. I'm telling you, there's a broader lack of
Ops, they
respect
move like they're
issue.
the ops.
There's a broader lack of respect issue in this league beyond just the players I've identified. I think there's a lot of quote unquote stars and superstars in the game who these refs don't respect.
That's
They don't respect them. Luka has negative respect actually from the refs. Negative respect. He's actively disrespected by the refs all the time.
I think they don't. I think they just disrespect the game. It's not the players. I think
I think they think they're protecting the game, and I think they don't respect the way these players approach the game.
The players as a whole.
Yes, I think they don't respect the way a lot of these players are approaching the game, and they feel like they're the last bastion of preserving the purity of the game.
Which is there was more of a camaraderie between the refs and the players, man.
I agree. There was because the refs used to have the utmost respect for the players, and they would protect the game for the players. Like, I gotta let this flow, even if the rules say maybe I should call this here because I respect what they got going on in this game. I'm letting that bump go.
I think it's more about the fans. They're trying to protect the game for the fans back in the day. Right now,
no, I think it's the opposite. I think their mindset right now is that they think the fans are fed up with the foul baiting and the complaining and the style of play, and their mindset is we're not going to let players get away with this and manipulate the game. Whereas I think before the refs used to be on the side of the players and say, hey, our job is to let these players play. So whatever the rules say, whatever the league is, whatever, we got to protect the flow and the appearance of this game and let the game look good.
But the refs, okay, there has been a conscious effort, an intentional effort to bring back physicality into the game. We're getting more 2010s-ish physicality recently the past 2 years, right? But these refs are still making some calls where it's like eyebrow raising.
Because think about what the mantra was in the era of rule changes. What do they call it? Respect for the game rules. Yeah. Why would you title it that? That tells me something about what the league front office thinks of these players. If they're going to call the new rules respect for the game, that means you're telling me that you believe there's a respect for the game problem amongst these players. They think that these players are disrespecting the game. So if the ref's mindset is always protect the game, if the players are looked as ops to the game, then that makes the players and refs oppositional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So now who do we ask to correct themselves? Are we looking at the players and asking them, hey, you need to get right? Or are we saying, hey, refs, it's a different day. Y'all need to respect the way these players play?
No, I think honestly,
I think it starts with the refs, and then if the players don't adjust themselves in response, then we look at the players.
But a lot of fans are saying that they're tired. They don't like the way a lot of these players play. A lot of guys don't like Trae Young's style. A lot of guys don't like, and it started with Harden. A lot of guys didn't like that Harden shit. A lot of guys, they don't like Joel Embiid shooting 15 free throws a game. They don't like Luka complaining for every single foul every single time down the court.
It really started with LeBron.
But then the same guys
all that flopping, all that. Let's talk about it because now you're gonna get my old back. Anyone that knows me from back in the day knows that I used to destroy LeBron James on Facebook. I was quasi Facebook famous. I swear to God. If anyone is out there that sees this clip that knows me for real from the era of 2009 to 2014,
this is so funny.
I was quasi Facebook famous, like on N.b.a. Facebook.
Because
I used to go off on Bron. Crazy engagement before we even was tracking engagement. Crazy engagement.
Kid going at LeBron.
Bro, I was getting crazy engagement going at LeBron, bro.
Nah, you gotta
because that man was the king of flop. He was manipulating the game.
Flop's crazy. Listen,
superstars didn't flop until LeBron.
We gotta admit a lot.
That's not true. He was just egregious with his flop.
The
old superstar flop used to be I really did get fouled, and I'm flopping to signal to the ref, hey, he's fouling me. LeBron started doing that when he didn't actually get fouled.
But he was the first superstar to do it. Before that, it was role players.
And so now refs don't trust players. The refs don't trust the players anymore.
Remember that when he looked like he broke his damn neck and he was like, "Oh my god!" And no one like they played back.
He was on the Heat. I remember that.
Man,
no one touched him. Yeah.
The day the NBA league office started having to fine players for flopping, I think that was the day respect was lost.
Yeah.
Because think about that. We have to now
that's really
review the
crazy.
gameplay, and we're now
Yeah.
penalizing you because you are disrespecting the game and manipulating it.
Yeah.
That from that day forward, the trust was gone,
Mhm.
and it became the refs now have to police this game.
I do
There's
think
a lot. We can celebrate a lot about LeBron, but there's a lot of negativity that comes along with his leadership that we don't talk about. We sweep it under the
Man,
rug.
pull up my statuses. That's what it used to be called, right?
Sweep it under the rug, man.
Pull up
Facebook status.
5 years of my statuses, bro.
Daryl, before you join this podcast,
I deleted a lot of them because of my current profession, but a lot of them are still there.
Daryl, before you join this podcast, I was the residential LeBron hater for a long time. Alan Paul, y'all remember this?
That's a fact.
I couldn't hate him after 2016 anymore because then I was like, you just be a hater. He was too good of a man.
Yeah.
He became
That's
too
where
good
I
of a
came
man. I had to support his brand and him as a man. I had to put my basketball. I had to put my basketball pettiness aside because
This was his plan the whole time. You're not the only one.
And it was smart. It was smart.
It happened to a lot of people.
Him as a man and a brand, I could no longer stand against. And in my values, in my societal values, I couldn't.
KD going to the Warriors low-key helps LeBron's brand.
A lot.
I just mean off the court. Off the court, he began to represent something bigger than basketball and more important. I had to stand behind that in the things that I believe in as a black man. Like,
yeah, true, but
I couldn't just be hating on little basketball grievances anymore. Like,
you could love him as a man and hate him as a player.
No, I can't. I'm incapable of doing that.
I can do that.
Salute my king.
I can do that.
Salute my king, pouring honey on my goat.
Yo!
What?
Hey, yo.
What did you just say?
Have y'all seen those comments on Instagram?
Hell
you
yeah.
guys be going crazy, man.
What?
Those comments about LeBron, my king, my goat, my
Oh
sunshine.
Yeah.
Nah, man, that man put the league on his back. That man built a school.
That's
like,
I can't. So did he though?
No, he didn't.
What?
What was
he
it?
Had a
it
little
was a charter school.
He had a little charter. It's very different. LeBron James built a public school. Very different.
True.
He built a public school. Very different.
Amazing.
True. Honestly, I think the biggest issue with the refs though,
and bleep that out.
Nah. It's out there.
That out. Why would you say that on our airways? Why would you?
But no. I think the biggest issue though is sometimes these refs.
There's no water in that glass. Put it down.
I think the biggest issue with these refs.
No, don't call me out, bro. I'm trying to. Shoot.
I think the biggest issue with some of these is that.
Hey.
Yo.
Hey.
Yeah, let's end the podcast.
No. There's another game. The best game of the day to talk about. The best game of the entire night.
Can't forget that one. You know what I posted on Instagram after that game, man?
What?
I saw what you posted. LeBron and Curry can never retire.
And this is gonna be my point about quality of basketball for all the. So we say that the 3 games we talked about were good quality basketball, right? People showed up and gave the NBA the quality they deserved. But what did we learn at 8:30 at night? That this league is still being carried on the shoulders of LeBron James and Steph Curry.
In fact,
that's a problem, though.
It's actually a big problem.
Because those old men on mediocre teams still gave us the most entertaining and best game of the day.
Yeah.
And LeBron is still nice.
Yeah.
We want to talk numbers. It was the highest. It was the highest rated viewed game of the day as well.
It was.
The average viewers for the whole day was 5.6. The Warriors Lakers game got 7.7.
Yep.
So let me break it down. Let me break it down for myself.
Who's doing the Nuggets versus Suns? Because I don't think anybody.
Nobody. Be real. Who watched it?
Not me.
I'm not going.
Exactly.
It was all streaming.
Exactly, bro.
That slot is a tough slot.
You got to put a great game in that spot, and I'm sorry, Jokic is not getting me to stay up till 1 a.m.
I don't even know who won that. Who won that game? The Suns, right?
Who knows? Who cares? We don't
Suns
care.
won.
by
I
like
saw
10.
the Suns
No
won.
one cares about those teams.
That's not bad. The
I don't
Suns.
know if that's true.
No one cares about the Nuggets and the Suns, bro. Outside of Arizona and Colorado.
You don't think Jokic is good to watch? Well, okay, you're not going to say so. Ferrose, Andre, Paul, yeah, you don't think Jokic is fun to watch?
On a good team.
I don't like how y'all are
On a
stepping
good
on
team.
this
I don't
Laker
know. I
game
think Russ
talking
is
about
fun to
Jokic.
watch.
I don't like how y'all are stepping on my Laker game breakdown to talk about Jokic. I don't like that.
Oh, here we go.
I don't like that.
My fault.
Yo, shout out to Austin Reeves, man.
Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves scored the winning layup with 1 second
Andrew
left.
Wiggins, you
after
listen to me. You listen to me. It's time for you to pack it up. Okay? It's time for you to go somewhere else. That was whack. You are whack. Everything about you is whack. Your mama, let me stop. But
Yo.
Chill. He been through some things.
You're whack. That was disgusting. That was disgusting. That wasn't even. He didn't even do nothing nice to you.
Can I do my intro?
Sure, but he just took a layup. Keep going.
He didn't just take a layup.
I-
Austin Reeves scored the winning layup with 1 second left after Steph Curry tied it on a 31-foot three-pointer with 7 seconds remaining. LeBron James had 31 points and 10 assists, playing in his NBA record, which it will be every single year that he ever does it ever again. 19th. It actually has been a record, I believe, for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
19th Christmas Day game, and the Los Angeles Lakers held off the Golden State Warriors 115-113 on Wednesday night. Curry scored 38 with 8 threes, hitting one under pressure from the baseline with 12 seconds left and another with 2:49 remaining, only for James to answer from long range on the other end. Reeves recorded a triple-double, 26 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists for the Lakers, who lost big man Anthony Davis to a sprained left ankle, who also stepped on himself.
Yeah,
I
late
I
in
thought the
the
game was
first
going to
quarter.
be whack after that.
No, because you know why? Because LeBron James always knows to flip the switch when Anthony Davis goes down.
It wasn't just him though.
I know,
Rui.
but that's what happens when the next player steps into the spot. Everyone then is on notice to step into the next spot.
That's facts.
Everyone knows. Austin Reeves, when LeBron went on ball, Austin Reeves said, "Oh, I gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
Triple double. Rui,
Mhm.
I'm now the shooter.
Y'all looks good without AD. I'm not gonna hold you.
Don't jack that at all. I promise.
I'm not saying he needs to not play. I'm saying y'all got to find a way to get that type of production from everybody with AD.
We have to play that lineup with LeBron when AD's off, and the problem is we don't have an AD lineup other than the starters. The starters operate really well with just LeBron on the floor, but the starters don't operate really well with but the starters also operate that well with AD on the floor. So we have to choose which one doesn't get that lineup. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we start with that lineup. It's good. And then it's like, do we sub AD out and let LeBron rock with the starters? And then when AD comes in, he's with the bench that sucks. Or do we let AD rock with the starters to finish the quarter? And then we start the second with LeBron James in a bench that sucks. That's the problem. We don't have a second five. That's good. That's why we put D'Lo on the bench, because we were like, maybe D'Lo and either LeBron or AD on the bench works, but it doesn't, because D'Lo also only really plays well with the starters.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. We have there's no 2 to 3 guys on the bench that we can play with just one superstar and it looked good. And we can't play all these guys 45 minutes a night.
I think the reason for that is because you don't have enough consistent shooters.
It's not like shooters. I'll tell you exactly what we need. We need a bruising bench big, because our interior defense and rebounding falls off a cliff when AD comes out. Yeah, we need a 2-way physical wing, because we don't have any of Cam Reddish is 6'4".
Is he really 6'4"?
Yes. We need a 2-way. I'm talking 6'8". We need a real 2-way physical wing, like a prime Jay Crowder,
DeAndre Hunter.
That who you three know I've been asking for 2 years. They need to break Atlanta up. Atlanta has championship caliber players over there, if not together. All those players somewhere else would be great.
They break them up.
Sure. How about this one? How about
Bogdanovic would be the starting 2 on a championship team in a lot of places.
How about this guy?
No.
Get the trade done, Gordon. Get the trade up.
Bro,
LeBron
DeAndre
James
Hunter, free him. Free
man.
Dorian Finney-Smith.
What you mean free? You know the Hogs are good, right?
Mm.
Once again,
The Hawks are
Trey Young
good.
got a good team.
The Hawks are good. Do I need to pull
Yeah,
up the
they're
standings?
decent.
They're not. I think they're fifth right now, aren't they?
Yes,
They're
they're
seventh.
good.
They're seventh.
That's good.
They're 16 and 15. Break
They're
it
not
up.
great. They're not.
Break it
no.
up. That's the
No,
worst
no.
place to be in the NBA is seventh.
They're dangerous. That's a problem. They're very dangerous.
But that's the problem. They keep
Denver's
getting
seventh.
they keep getting seventh in the East, and they're like a scary first round team to play. But you know what's gonna happen? They're either gonna go out in the first round or they're gonna go out in the second round. It's
'Cause of Trae Young.
over.
'Cause
It's
of Trae Young.
over.
They gotta rebuild.
Break it.
Free Trae
Break
Young.
it up.
Free Trae
Break
Young,
it
really.
up.
He's part of the
Time to
problem.
rebuild. Time to
Nets.
rebuild.
Nets. Break it up. Send the rest of your good players out. You free
Give us
Dennis.
those draft picks.
You free Dennis.
Who you want? Cam?
Free Dorian Finney-Smith, please.
People want Cam. People want Cam.
You can keep Cam. Give us the other
Cam
Cam.
Johnson.
Mhm.
Then
That's what I'm
Cam
talking about. Cam Johnson.
Cam
Oh, you want
Johnson
to keep
would be
Cam?
great
That's
on the
fine.
Lakers.
Give us
No,
Dorian.
Ooh, Dorian's
Give
good.
us Dorian. Free that
Dorian
man.
can't shoot. He can't shoot at all.
Anyway, let me get back to my notes on this game.
You're
With
dope.
AD going out, we saw a small ball war, which was very interesting. LeBron was playing 5 for a lot of the game. Rui was playing 5, and they had Draymond, obviously, and Tracy Davis. Tracy Davis? Whatever. I saw elite shot making by LA. Everyone was hitting their shots that night. I saw the Warriors have no offense outside of Stephen Curry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I saw LA making their free throws.
Mhm.
I saw Dennis play the defense that he's made a career off of at the point of attack. Wish we still had that. And the biggest thing, so obviously Steph making those clutch shots, giving us an entertaining end of the game. LeBron James notoriously allowing another player to win a game again.
That's a fact. That's a big fact.
Austin Reeves with maybe one of the easiest game winners I've ever seen. But to cap a triple double, and then the biggest thing I think that happened and this is the real, outside of the game being the best game, the real reason why I say this league still rests on the shoulders of LeBron James and Steph Curry is because LeBron's statement after the game.
Mm-hmm.
He puts the league and the shield and the brand on his back again, understands his role. And Paul, this is what I'm talking about when I say good sauce. When I say marketing and good sauce, this is what I'm talking about. Getting in front of these cameras on Christmas Day, being aware of what's going on, being aware of the business around the moment, and getting up there and saying, hey, NFL, I love the NFL. I love the NFL. Looking straight to the camera and saying, but Christmas is our day.
That's
After
a
you
fact.
know you just put on the best performance of the night.
That's a fact.
That's good. That's what I'm talking about. That's good sauce.
That's a fact. And he was right. I was like, look. Basketball is my favorite sport. All right. I watch the NFL. I'm a Jets fan,
Ew.
but I don't like.
Let's go Jets.
You said what?
So let's go Jets.
I said ew.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
But listen, all I'm gonna say is
Rooting
this,
for the wrong A-Rod.
Oh my god. Anyway, listen. It was annoying seeing that they're playing football on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
As an N.b.a. fan,
Somewhere, bro.
yeah, like what are you
Go
doing?
to December
Why are you
26th.
playing?
Leave us alone.
Yeah, football's a Thursday sport anyway. What is football doing on Wednesday, y'all? What's
that's
going
a
on
fact.
here?
They got hype
Man.
around all these. Oh, the ratings are low. Stuff.
And they got Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a football holiday. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
trying
I
to
don't
run.
know.
They
And
trying
you
to
got the
make
Super
moves.
Bowl in February, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Trying to do
Listen.
too much.
Leave Christmas alone. Christmas Day is just as much of a tradition for the NBA as Thanksgiving is for the NFL. You know, every Christmas you watching the NBA.
Fact.
So stay over there.
Damian
You go
Lillard.
play Boxing Day.
What do you think about the statement,
Boxing
though?
Day.
What do you think about him taking that political stance, standing as the spokesperson for the league once again?
He's a face of the league, man. Like he
This is his league, man. Come on.
see LeBron. LeBron is for as a brand for the brand of the NBA, he arguably does more than Jordan did. Like as a leader, as like camaraderie, like Jordan was very individualistic.
Yeah, but he globalized the game by himself.
Yeah.
very
Now
tough
I
to
think
do.
about it.
That's
Actually,
very tough to beat.
Jordan damn near brought it back from dead. Like it was the league was
No. Magic and Bird did that. Magic and
Yeah,
Bird
but after
did that.
okay, actually you're right.
His big thing
You're
was
right.
he globalized it by
Jordan
himself.
took it to another level, yeah.
He
But
took it global. The NBA became a global brand because of him.
but I think it was almost by accident. Whereas LeBron is very intentional.
Was it because he had sneaker interest in going global? So it was a combined entrepreneurial effort.
It was of course it's a combined entrepreneur, but he wanted to sell sneakers for himself, and as a result, he played in the NBA. So therefore, everybody who's paying attention to Jordan paid attention to the NBA.
No, but he was striving to make the NBA global as well because that heightened his market for selling shoes.
Was he really, or was he just that polarizing?
You got to remember the dream team. The dream team. Part of why it was so monumental is because NBA superstars didn't used to play Olympics. So
Facts.
him even agreeing to play in the Olympics as a pro was a big deal.
I mean, he wasn't the only one though.
Yeah, but everyone got down when they realized he was going to play.
It was a rule change. Pros used to not be allowed to play the Olympics.
I know, but you still had to want to.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, yeah, I guess I don't know. I just think that LeBron.
That's why Magic came back, and that's why Bird went. Those guys didn't even play Olympics at that point in their career, but they were like, "All right, we understand the moment. Like, if Jordan's going,
I think
it's the same thing with LeBron in the bubble. How all these players have come out and say, like, when they had that meeting, literally explicitly, everyone was like, "All right, big bro, what we doing? Like, if he playing, we playing."
Yeah. I just think LeBron is the most intentional superstar when it comes to the brand and like bigger than himself. Like him saying
I think Kobe did too in his own way. It was a different brand, but I think the way he pursued his personal brand was on behalf of representing the NBA a certain
I
way.
think LeBron being more personable makes it so that I could say that LeBron is more.
It's an easier market.
Because he just has more camaraderie with more players than Jordan and Kobe did. And because of that, he feels the brotherhood very much so, more so than I could say any other player has. Right? Like he's about the brand, the players that's coming into the brand. He cares about that more, in my opinion, than anybody else does. And that's what makes him so great as an athlete. Like stats aside, as an athlete, that is different. He's He's one of the greatest leaders. In the brand, not just on the scene, in the brand ever.
Outside of that, he also has created more institutions that empower athletes than any athlete ever. Uninterrupted.
Okay.
His platform, his media spots that he's given more players platforms. He's empowered players to be negotiators in their contracts more than ever. He highlights other athletes in other sports more than any other athlete does. Like what other athlete talks about other athletes in their sport more than LeBron?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What other athlete tweets out when there's a big sports moment more than LeBron?
Facts.
Good point.
Yeah, that's what makes LeBron, man.
All right, but talk to me about this game. What did y'all see? I mean, I kind of broke down everything from a basketball perspective, but if you have any final points, and then we can continue this sort of quality of the product talk.
Look, I mean,
did you all agree it was the best game of the night?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree.
It was. And let me tell you something. The things I saw Steph Curry, we've been talking a lot about how great LeBron is. But the things I saw Steph Curry doing was ungodly, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He got his son a contract as a wild thing.
Hey, go watch Bronny's last 5 games in the G League.
I don't
know.
Show me his last 5 games in the league.
Real league. All right, I'm about to say something very controversial. Y'all don't have to stand with me. Y'all don't have to stand with me like this, right? Where's this smoke for DeMar Hamlin?
Who?
DeMar Hamlin.
The hell is that?
The guy that got that had the
cardiac arrest?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had cardiac arrest, and he's playing his sport again. Where's his
Who
smoke?
is DeMar?
Come on,
You're
son.
talking about the NFL player.
Wait,
Where's
what?
his
He
smoke?
got to the he got to the
He got to the
league
league 'cause of his daddy?
before that. That's
No.
a different.
No. Listen to what I'm. Get my point. It's a little nuanced. We're acting like this man didn't. We're only even just now coming up on a year since this man had a cardiac arrest episode, and y'all want to evaluate him for whether he's a pro based on how he's playing within a year of his recovery.
And he
Where is
shouldn't
that?
be-
Where
he
is
shouldn't
that
be in the
smoke for?
league.
Where is that
Shouldn't be
smoke
in the
for
league
Demar?
now.
Where is that smoke for DeMar Hamlin?
DeMar Hamlin got to the league already. Was productive in the league already.
I feel. What
Ronnie
you're
shouldn't
saying,
be in the
Farrell,
league
but
if that's the case.
I feel what you're saying, Farrell, but I feel like a lot of people. I don't agree with it, but a lot of people have been saying he wasn't good since he was in high school. A lot of people be saying
That's
that. Like,
objectively
he was getting
not
ranking and
But that's objectively not true.
when he was
That's not
When he was
objectively
getting-
not true.
when he was getting
there's an argument. There's an argument.
like I remember when he made All American. A lot of people were mad about that.
There's an
because his,
argument.
because his numbers don't support that, but not everyone like we just hold it. We want him to be the best of his class to
Yes,
say that he's
we
a
do.
pro.
No, people
and
do.
that's not true.
That's
a
not-
lot
that's
of
disingenuous,
people go
bro.
pro and they're not. Dame Lillard had one offer coming out of high school. He was a 4-year college player. Is he not one of the greatest pros of all time? We got to stop acting like you got to be a world beater in high school to be a pro. It's not
about the
true.
opportunity.
It's a
Farrell.
fallacy. It's
about
a
the
fallacy.
Here's the
opportunity.
thing.
It's
I know
about
we
the
don't want to
opportunity.
address
Steph
it right now.
Steph Curry, 2
Listen.
offers out of high
When
school.
your
It's
dad,
about the
We have to
opportunity.
stop.
when your
We
dad
have to
is
stop.
the third,
Come on,
listen,
Farrell.
when your dad is the third greatest player in your sport in history, there comes a different pressure, and we can't pretend it doesn't exist.
I don't even want to go
But
there.
that's not even where the people are coming from. People are
That's where a lot of
honestly
people are
trying to,
coming. Your
but
name
people
is
are
LeBron
honestly
James
trying to
Jr.
argue. People are honestly trying to argue that he's not a pro, and they're basing that off of high school and college performance.
I guarantee you.
And
if
I'm
you look up
saying
any other name-
some of the greatest pros of all time were not great high school players, and only became good after 4 years of college.
Hold on,
Let
wait
me
a second.
Let
Wait
me
a
ask
second.
you
Wait a
something.
second. Wait a second.
If that boy's name was James Paul or Don Mitchell or some other name that wasn't LeBron James Jr., you think he'd be getting this kind of smoke? Yes or no?
But that's
He
not my
shouldn't-
point. My point
Listen,
is
I'm
that's
just
my
gonna say.
point.
I'm just
I
gonna
know,
say.
but I'm not arguing against that being the case. Of course, that's the case. I'm saying the objectivity of the arguments being made are wrong.
No,
Yeah,
Bronny
I'm
should
saying the
not be in the
objectivity
league.
goes out the window because of who he is.
Bronny should not be in the league because he didn't earn the opportunity. Let's call a spade a spade. He did not earn.
He didn't earn a 55th pick.
No, he didn't. No.
What did 50?
There are players that were better
Paul,
than him,
Paul,
producing at a higher level.
what did
that
the
picked
50, what did the 54th pick do?
Come on, man.
What did the 54th pick do?
You
Please
act
tell
like
me.
we're talking
Please
about the
tell me.
NBA.
Paul, what's the 54th pick's resume?
I bet
Please
you
tell
more-
me.
I bet
You bet.
more
You
than-
don't know though, do you? You don't know though, do you?
Who? I bet I will look it up, and I bet you it's more than Bronny.
Anton Watson. Let's look at what he did in his career.
Okay,
What has Anton Watson done?
because there are 60 players that come to the NBA, and you
Let's
know how
see
many
what
nice
Antoine
players
Watson done.
that really are balling out.
4
that gotta
years.
go overseas.
4 years of varsity basketball at Gonzaga. Sophomore year, he averaged 19 points. Led his team. This is high school, by the way, not regular Gonzaga. This is high school.
Okay.
Gonzaga Prep in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Averaged 19 points as a sophomore. Got MVP of the Spokane League. He helped Gonzaga Prep win 2 consecutive 4A state championships. Cool. College. On November 5th, 2019, Watson debuted for Gonzaga, recording 7 points. He had 15 points in a win over North Dakota. He started 4 games with Killian Tilly after recovering from knee surgery. On January 16, 2020, it was announced that Watson would undergo shoulder surgery. He missed the remainder of the season. He averaged 4.9 points, 3.1 rebounds in 15 games, and then he went to the draft.
He had a better career in high school than Bronny.
So
Come on,
what?
that matters.
So
Farrell.
what?
That matters. If Bronny wasn't Bronny, he would not even be in the 60 players in the world, Farrell. In the world, make it to that. You know how many players overseas?
The 54th pick, the 54th pick
averaged
averaged
better opportunity.
the 54th pick played 5 years of college, and in his final year, averaged 14 points.
14 is better than Bronny. 14 is
5
better
years
than
of college. 5
Who
years.
cares? He played better than Bronny in college.
Okay, well, you know what? He got picked before Bronny. So if you have beef with people that got picked after him, right? Let's see what the 56th pick did.
Y'all acting like these are not NBA players out here. Bronny's resume is subpar for an NBA player.
Kevin McCullough Jr.
High school All-American was questionable.
Kevin McCullough Jr. Let's see what he did.
I've seen him play. He's in the NBA right now. He's still on the team. I've seen him play.
Kevin McCullough Jr. High school. Junior season, he averaged 16, 6, and 3. Broke his tibia in the playoffs. Opted to graduate early and bypass his senior season. College career. Also played 6 years of college.
Who cares? I don't care about the money.
Now who cares? Now it's who cares.
Right? What did he do? What did he do?
Now
what did he do
cares.
in those 6 years? I don't care how long he played.
No, but here's my point. If you're you're drafting an 18-year-old at 56, you're drafting for potential, where usually in the 56 players, you're drafting 24-year-olds. So don't compare him at 18. Don't compare him at 18. But it's the same thing. You can say that, bro. Zachary Razakir hasn't played in college at all. He played in Euro. There are guys who are in college who definitely could argue they have better resumes, but what are we drafting Zach first for? Potential, right? He's 18. If he's doing what he did,
what was his resume? We literally got to look that up if we're gonna have this conversation. Because that's not
agree that younger players get drafted higher than older players who have better resumes because of potential.
Right?
Is that not a fact?
Right?
Is that not a fact?
That doesn't mean you can have a low resume like nothing.
Why not? If I'm going off potential, if I'm going off potential,
talking about.
But we just said it. Sometimes you get drafted off potential. Resume be damned.
No, not all the way like that. Not all the way like that.
Yes.
I bet you Anthony Bennett had a better resume than Ronnie, man.
That's crazy. I don't ever want to hear Anthony Bennett again.
I mean, Anthony Bennett was the first pick. Of course, he had a better resume. No matter what he turned into.
Okay, ready? Zachary Razakir signed his first professional contract in 2023 before he got loaned out to JL Berg, and then he was named to the Team France. He got awarded Best Young Player of the 2023-24 season for the NLB Elite season, having averaged 10 points and 3 rebounds in 22 minutes a game in Europe.
In a pro league,
which in Europe, that's considered to be tougher competition than even in college. So yes.
Are you telling me that he got drafted for his resume?
What do you mean?
He had a better resume. But did he get drafted for his resume?
Not simply his resume, but if he didn't get that, then no, he wouldn't be in the league. I understand the concept of wait.
You're saying if he didn't average 10 points in the Euro League, he wouldn't be drafted?
Of course not. Listen, what you acting like I said something? Listen, I understand the concept of projection. I get that, but you're not projecting off of nothing. You can be young.
You don't give a damn about those 10 points he scored in the Euro League, bro.
He got an award off of it. Look, the young. Listen, I understand. You could be, but you gotta understand. You gotta be young. You can't be young and whack. You can't be young with nothing on your resume. You can't be young with a questionable McDonald's All-American. You can't be young like that and have a low resume, and people are going to say, "Oh, but I think he's going to be great."
So let's
you understand that Bronny's like 6'2". He's like my height.
Hold on, let's put Collins to the side.
He's like our height.
Hold on, let's put Collins to the side.
You're 6'2"?
Why are you saying?
I'm 6'3".
Let's put Collins to the side. Why is Bronny's high school resume so hard? Tell me. Because since you know it as a fact.
Years, I forgot that's true.
Why is his high school resume subpar?
Well, first of all,
the
stats are low. He played with other superstars on Sierra Canyon, right? And because of the fact that he was on a team like
as a senior, he averaged 14, 5, 2 and 1.8 steals and led his team to a 23-11 record.
Yes, because his team was a superstar team. It's different when you're playing.
Right. So if he had gone and played for some bum local school, what do you think he would have averaged in high school?
I don't know, because he doesn't seem that nice right now. Okay. And then he had the cardiac arrest.
We're not talking about right now. Since you want to go to resume, and we're smart enough to use context. He played on an all-star high school team because he wanted to win and play winning high school basketball. And on that all-star high school team, as a senior, he averaged 14, 5, and 4. If he had played on some of these bum
Pretty
teams
good.
like Gilbert Arenas' son, who's playing like Zion, who played in a league with no one over 6'2" other than him, what do you think his high school
Crazy.
stats would have looked like?
I don't know. Why you acting like you know? You don't know. We don't know.
It's an easy evaluation. He
No,
played
it's
against
not.
real comp and with real teammates, and he still averaged 14.
Real comp and real team. He played with a superstar team. So how real is that?
Not
comp
his
for
senior
real?
year. He was the superstar his senior year. He just played with other guys that were potentially college players. Unlike Zion, unlike Brandon Jennings, unlike all these guys that had these amazing high school careers that everyone goes, oh, they were killing everybody. They didn't play nobody. They didn't
When
play
you
with
kill
nobody and they
everybody,
didn't play nobody.
when you
They
kill
didn't play with nobody and they didn't play nobody.
when you kill everybody, you show that you're like years ahead of everybody
Against
else.
nobody. He was playing against all players that went to college and
Listen.
all players that are going to go pro.
Listen.
5 of his teammates over his 4-year career went pro.
When you play with other superstars, you benefit from playing with those
You
superstars,
keep
right?
saying superstars, bro. I'm just saying they went pro.
Super,
They
in
weren't
the high
super-
school
He didn't
level,
play with
they
the
are
top 10.
superstars.
No, he
He
didn't
played
play
with
the
other
top
guys that would have been killing everybody if they were on
He
another
didn't
team
play-
too.
He didn't play in a. He didn't. You're saying superstars like he played with the top 10 in the draft class. He didn't play with the top. He played with other top 100 guys.
Now, which isn't a big deal. You think
It's not superstar. You're acting like he was Brandon Jennings and he played with John Wall and Austin Rivers. That's ridiculous.
All I'm saying is this, right? If you even look, I understand the cardiac arrest, right? But you want to talk facts? Most people not even getting an opportunity after that.
What are you talking about? There are guys who have had devastating injuries in college that went on to come back and get drafted. This is what I'm saying. People are just
But
making
his
up
stats-
things about Bronny. This is ridiculous.
His stats were not good enough to look at and be like, oh, I think he's going to be great.
He never played. He got cardiac arrest before he ever put his college jersey on.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
So wait, no, he came back.
Off of cardiac arrest.
Right. I'm telling you, most people are not going to get the opportunity putting up those numbers after cardiac arrest. The problem is because it's Bronny, we want to ignore the harsh realities of the basketball world.
It's the opposite. Because it's Bronny, we're ignoring the realities of his life, of
No,
the
we're
situation
not.
that he's
No,
in.
we're not. Most people not getting an opportunity to put up 3 points a game.
So you're
man.
saying every player that would have ever had cardiac arrest in college would never have gotten a spot back on their college team?
If you were a superstar on that team before and then you get cardiac arrest,
We never
you'll
know
get
what
the
he was going to
opportunity.
be. He got cardiac arrest in training camp.
Right. I agree with you. We don't know what he's going to be. And usually when you don't know that and then you come back and you see 3 points a game in the basketball world, you don't get the opportunity. That's a
Are
fact.
you joking? Within
No,
4 months of cardiac arrest, that's
fair.
why I'm saying
They
you're
would've
being
told him
ridiculous.
They would have told him to stay another year.
Exactly.
They're not going to
USC
opportunity to go to the
USC
league,
would have.
though.
You think USC
that-
wouldn't have happily given him another year to come back as a sophomore to see
Of
what he could
course,
actually
but he's
be?
not going to go to the league unless he's Bronny. That's a fact. He wouldn't be in the league.
Okay,
man.
I see what you're saying, Paul. I see what you're saying.
Listen, we
Yeah.
act like with so super talented players don't even get to the draft. Super talented. This is the NBA.
Yo, I hate
including
that this is the NBA
19-year-olds.
because guys get drafted on potential that Hashim Thabit. What did Hashim Thabit do?
Be tall.
Guys get drafted all the time for no reason. There are guys that average 30 in college that don't go to the NBA.
Right.
So
That's
stop
my
it.
whole point. That's my whole
But
point.
but you know who gets drafted over them? Guys that average 6 points and 6 rebounds, but they're 7'2".
And how tall is Bronny?
Guys that average 6 points, but they're uber athletic.
And how tall is Bronny? How athletic is Bronny?
Bronny is one of the better athletes at 6'2" in the world.
At 6'2", you got to put that caveat. He is short.
He's one of the best. He's one of the
He
best.
is short.
Let's be real. Here's what he got drafted on. And like, I'm not going to ignore the politicalness, but to say that it's completely justified. Bronny is an above average athlete at 6'2". He's at 6'2", he's probably top 3 athletes in the league.
Yeah.
Okay, 1. So he's a pro athlete. Number 1. IQ. Top 10 IQ of a guard's 18-year-old in the world.
I don't know
easily.
I haven't seen that yet.
Thank you. Thank you, Andre. We don't know that. We
that.
saw it in high school.
No. That's all potential.
That's a super projection.
You don't potential IQ. I see. You guys think
Yes, you
IQ
do.
can only be demonstrated by stats. That's your problem.
No.
You
I'm
can-
talking about my gameplay. I literally have not seen it.
That's because you don't know what IQ looks like if it's not a scoring or an assist.
That's not true.
So
It
give
comes
me
from
examples.
spacing. It
Give
comes
me
from
examples.
positioning.
Give me examples of things that demonstrate
Brian's
IQ
pulling up
that
his
don't
own
include
ball.
scoring a bucket or getting an
Facing
assist.
away from the ball so the man that's cooking can be able to get a shot. That's a good
That's a good one.
off-ball screen. That's a good way to
Yeah.
do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Being able to be in the right in the passing lane, high IQ
Yeah.
defensive play. All right. So
Mhm.
there's a lot. Don't disrespect me when I
Okay.
say I don't know what it looks like.
Okay,
I
you just
haven't
named
seen
you
that
just
from-
named all the things that Bronny James is absolutely phenomenal at.
I have not seen it. That's my point. And Paul hasn't seen it. And we have half this.
You
podcast
haven't seen him be excellent on rotations and always be in the passing lane. You haven't seen
No,
him being
I haven't.
excellent.
I
You haven't seen him.
because I don't watch G League.
You haven't seen him.
basketball.
Exactly. That's my point. You don't actually watch him. You don't actually watch him. So stop telling me you haven't seen it. So stop telling me you haven't seen it because you
So you're
don't
watching
watch.
G League basketball?
Yes, I'm watching my prospects. I watched Lonzo Ball when he was in the G League. I watched D'Angelo Russell. I watched Jordan Clarkson. I watched Ivica Zubac. I watched Austin Reeves. I watched Alex Caruso. I watched my minor league team.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I could have told you, we knew Alex Caruso was going to be Alex Caruso because we saw the IQ.
You were seeing
We
this when
knew
he
he
was
was
in high
going to
school
be
and
what he
college?
was.
You were seeing this when he was in high school and college.
Yes.
All right.
He always makes the right play. Never makes a
showed-
mental mistake. Always is on rotation. Always is in passing lanes. Always
Let me
contests.
tell you
Always
something, man.
boxes out.
So if he has all
Always
this
advances
IQ,
the ball.
Hold on, Andre. Hold on. Let me talk for a second. Let me
Wait. If he has all this damn IQ, why is he going 55th? Hold on.
hold on, Andre.
Oh, because he had a cardiac arrest. So he
Pyro, don't listen to Andre because he's trolling.
You
He's trolling.
sound
He's trolling.
stupid. You sound stupid.
Pyro, Andre is trolling.
sound
Hold on.
dumb, bro.
Pyro, Andre is trolling. I don't agree with that. Talk to
I'm
me for a
asking
second.
a real question.
High IQ players.
No,
that
wait,
don't-
Paul.
wait.
Let me finish cooking this man for the stupidity
Oh
he
my
just
God.
said, and then I'll get to you because you know what he said is crazy.
Tell me.
You know what he just said is crazy.
Tell me.
Of course.
Tell me.
I'm
You're
not
telling me
bringing
he's
it up.
never making a bad play. Why is he going 55th?
Because he had a cardiac arrest less than 12 months before the draft.
But none of that matters, right?
My whole argument is it does matter. That's the whole thing I've been saying.
I have one question. Do you think if he didn't have the cardiac arrest, you think he would have went higher?
No, I think he would have stayed in college. I think he would have stayed in college. I think he would have been probably top conference sophomore.
I think he should have stayed in college, regardless
No,
of what happened.
but here's why I say I think when you have a cardiac arrest, I believe them when he say like life is short in his perspective after that. I'm going now, and I'll just develop in the NBA.
I think that's
if that doesn't happen, I think his mentality is different. I think he probably is a 3-year, or 4-year college player, and I think by his sophomore year he'd be all conference. And I think by his junior, senior year, he'd be all NCAA. Easily.
So here's the thing, Farrell.
Easily.
So here's the thing.
Did you also the comment?
Wait, hold on. Here's the thing, Farrell. You're talking about box outs, high IQ, making all the little plays. Those type of guys without the statistics don't even make the NBA. They gotta.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. High IQ players.
Everyone that comes in the NBA is a fucking
grind their way up to the top.
Not. You guys are crazy. You guys are out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
He doesn't have the resume. Projection aside, you need a resume to project off of. He doesn't have it. And I'm telling you, most guys in the NBA who are at Bronny James's size with the resume he got are not sniffing the NBA. They gotta go back to college to try and get better. To prove to scouts.
No, they go back to college.
Maybe they could be an NBA player.
No, they go back to college because they want to get drafted in the first round. Most guys with his potential. Let's be real. No. Paul, let's be real. Most guys with his potential and touting coming out of high school are not going to the draft unless they're going to go in the top 15. But most of them could probably come out after a subpar freshman year and get drafted 55th.
Undrafted, gotta go to the summer league, gotta try and work on.
Which is what he's doing.
He got drafted and he got a guaranteed contract.
55th.
No, even that. He wouldn't make the NBA if his name wasn't LeBron James. And you know that too.
Thank you.
We're being disingenuous, man. Come on.
You.
Every guy you named had a better resume than LeBron.
You're acting like he's in
James
15 minutes on the 15-man roster. He's in the G League, guys. He's in the G League.
He wouldn't even be drafted. What are we talking about? He wouldn't even be drafted. Second round, I don't care. He
Biased,
wouldn't
bro.
be drafted.
It's
And
not
that's a
even just
fact.
second round. He got drafted 5th to last, bro. 5th to
Still
last.
wouldn't be drafted.
Do
He's
you
not
think-
even
Do
what
you think
he's
there's
done
any
so
stock?
far.
Do you think there's any stock these teams are putting into what they're expecting a player to be at 55th? They're taking shots. 50th to 60th picks in the draft, we're taking shots. So if you're telling me did Bronny deserve to have a shot taken on him, I say yes. When you look at
No,
That's
I'm
crazy.
saying no.
I think
No,
that's
that's-
crazy. I
I'm
think
saying
that's a
not
crazy
crazy.
statement.
It's because he's LeBron James. He got that shot. You know how many talented players didn't make the NBA? You know how many talented players didn't make the NBA?
For many reasons.
Hold
Talent
on.
doesn't get you to the NBA.
Alan,
Talent doesn't
you're
get you to
gonna,
the
you're gonna
NBA.
appreciate this. Alan, you're gonna appreciate this.
Mhm.
Isaiah Washington, Jelly Fam. He's better than Bronny. He should have made the NBA. These are guys. There are guys who
There's
don't
a bigger,
make the
yo,
NBA.
there's a bigger
Okay,
point
Paul.
here.
Okay,
Hold on,
Paul.
there's a
There are
bigger
guys
point
who
here.
didn't
No,
make
hold
the
on.
NBA who
There's a
are
bigger
so
point here.
super
There's a bigger
talented.
point here that we have never talked about. Maybe that's what we set up for next pod. We got to talk
What?
about that. Like the NBA is not a meritorious league. It never has been.
That's true.
Now
It
it's not
never,
American.
it never has been.
Now
To
it's
your
not-
point, there are a lot of talented guys that don't make the NBA. The idea of being an NBA, Mike James just talked about this.
Yeah, he did.
Mike
Yes, he
James
did.
just talked
I saw
about this.
that
He's
too.
a super talented guy, and he said, "But my game does not fit the NBA."
He's better than Bronny.
Maybe when you're talking about basketball in a broad vacuum, but if we're talking about the NBA, the league is gonna want the kind of guy Bronny might turn into more than they want a Mike James.
That's not why they pick Bronny. Man.
Interesting.
That's not,
So-
usually the type of guy that Bronny is has to be 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". Am I wrong about that?
No,
All right then. So he got
that's not true. That's not true.
Get out of here.
Ronnie's not
6'2",
6'6".
6'2".
6'4".
Bronny is 6'2".
I know.
The type of guy that he is right now has to be 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" to get
That's
into
what
the
I'm
league.
saying.
That's
He
not.
gotta
I
look.
don't,
Kind of
It's
guy.
not
I don't think
true.
that's very true. I don't think that's
That's
true.
not
Ronnie's
man.
not that kind of guy.
But
He's that
high
kind of
IQ box out player, good defender.
Marcus Smart.
You're not
Who
getting
can
that-
turn- No, you're forgetting the athlete part. You're acting like he's a 6'2" under the basket player. He's the athlete of a 6'7".
Nah, I think you got something enough.
Oh, you
acting
really
like
have
Nate Robinson.
You really don't watch him. You
I've
really don't
seen
watch
enough.
him.
I've seen
Now
enough.
I know you really don't watch him. If
I've
you
seen
don't
enough.
understand that
yeah, we know
Bronny's
he's athletic, but come on, let's stop.
he is the athlete of a 6'7". He will board more than some 6'7" guys. He is a better finisher at the rim than some 6'7" guys.
Are you
You
telling
don't know him.
You're
Are you
gassing.
telling me
You're
he's Russell
gassing.
Westbrook? I'm not even
Huh?
trolling. I'm actually asking.
Yes, athlete wise, yes.
He's a good athlete, but you're
Athlete
gassing.
wise, yes.
I gotta go pull up some Ronnie tape.
He's a good athlete, but he's
'Cause
gassing.
I don't know, man.
He's gassing it. He's gassing because he's a Laker player and he's a LeBron James son.
Cardiac arrest don't translate to 55th. There's something I'm missing.
His name is LeBron James Jr. That's why he's in the league.
There's
You've
something
seen
I'm
enough.
missing, man. There's
You have
something that's
seen
not
enough.
working here.
Yo, but
You've
okay,
seen
Paul.
enough. He's
In
not that
closing,
good.
in closing, here's what I want to be clear. I am not denying the why, right? I'm not denying the
I'm looking up a
politics that went
Bronny
into
James
play.
highlight mix.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
And I
Let him
think-
talk. Andre.
I think this is what people get messed up. I'm not arguing that if his name weren't Bronny James Jr., he would never got drafted. I'm not arguing that. I'm not arguing that the politics got him into the league. What I don't like is the argument that his presence in the G League and a player of his caliber with his resume getting drafted 55th is an abomination and is egregious. That's what I disagree with. Objectively, it tracks and it's fine. Now there may now look there may be 40 guys in the country who are identical to that could have got drafted at that spot, and he got picked because he was Bronny. I'm perfectly fine conceding that. But to act like his archetype with his resume and his history wouldn't ever in any world get a shot in the NBA is not true. It's not. That's what I'm saying. He's
Tyler
lucky that he
Kolek is a better player than
Bro,
Bronny.
who's arguing that? That's not my argument.
Oh, he was drafted 34th. My fault.
Okay, then.
My fault.
That's all I'm arguing is that you could take the name off and you give me that exact player, and I'm saying there's a world where that player gets drafted. Not if Bronny James is available, because I'm taking Bronny because of his name. But if there was no Bronny James in this draft, I bet we can go through the last couple of drafts, and if we look at 50 through 60, I can find a player similar to Bronny.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I
Bronny-
can.
You know how hard it is.
Yes, I
to get into the
can.
league right now.
I'm
You
gonna
know
do
how
it for
hard
the
it is
next
for
pod.
guys that are
I'm gonna do it for the next pod. I'm gonna
Go
do it
ahead.
for the next pod. I'm gonna
Go
find
ahead.
at least 3
Listen,
guys
my-
with similar situations to Bronny, not maybe context wise, but in terms of talent and resume.
The examples you
find it.
gave so far show me that you're not gonna find guys. You're gonna find guys that are better than Bronny and call them just as good as Bronny, because you did that on this podcast just a few minutes
That's
ago.
not what I've never talked about being as good or not. I talked about what the prospect is, the pick.
Better
right?
prospects than Bronny. Same thing.
No, it's not. And that's the bigger point that I'm saying. What kind of NBA prospect you are and how good you are at basketball have nothing to do with each other.
And I'm saying Bronny.
They
is
have
not even
nothing
NBA
to
prospect.
do with each other.
I'm saying
Can I ask you
Bronny.
a question? Can I ask you a question, Pharaoh? Do
Yeah.
you think they've been treating him like a 50-50? Because my only issue with, I agree with what you're saying.
No, but
mostly Pharaoh.
who's gonna argue that? Like, of course not. But like,
My
my only thing is I don't
he's-
like them acting like it's disrespectful to the league that he's there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not that's
I
not
agree.
true.
I agree with you there. I agree.
Y'all acting like he really is some bum that is just
No.
Bron's son and he has no basketball talent at all. You're acting like it's like
He
Mike.
doesn't have enough
Y'all
basketball
acting
talent.
like he's like Mike, and
He
that's
doesn't have enough.
disrespectful.
He
No,
doesn't
I
have enough
never
basketball
said
talent to
that.
be where he
I
is
never
right
said
now.
that.
No, not you, but that's what the narrative
But-
is. The narrative is that he is
Right.
like Mike, that he is a Make-A-Wish kid, and I think
He's
that's
not.
and that's
That's
disrespectful.
crazy.
Michael Jordan's son was better than Bronny.
Oh,
Whoa!
Listen,
No.
I highly disagree. I think that man was severely less talented and severely
No.
less basketball IQ. That man did not know how to play basketball. That kid.
He didn't know how to play basketball.
No, he did not. Bronny knows how to play ball.
Bronny's
and,
a good-
and-
Bronny's a
and
good
more
player.
specifically, he understands NBA basketball. That's important. A lot of these college guys master college, and you may average 30 points, but you don't understand how this pro game works.
He was
All right, so
definitively
I'm
better
on-
than
And Mike James just spoke to this.
Marcus Jordan is better than Bronny. I just looked at this. No, he's better than Bronny.
You looked at stats. I don't care about stats in this conversation.
How can you project off of a kid that got cardiac
All right,
arrest?
Are you looking
What
at
kind of projections are you even making off of a kid that had a
Are
heart
you looking
attack?
at Marcus Jordan at 18?
say it again.
You probably pulled up his senior stats, didn't you?
Ooh.
I bet you did.
What
His
was his
freshman
stats?
year was
bet
like
you
8
did.
points per
I bet
game.
you
That's better
did.
than Bronny.
I'll tell you what I did. I just looked up some Bronny highlights from his last game in Cleveland. And I'll tell you this: the IQ.
Go
was
look up his
definitely there.
30-point game.
I wanted to take an average. I wanted to take an average Bronny James game.
No, I respect that. I'm saying now also go look at him when he's
I'll go
peaking,
look at that
and
after. I'll
then
go look at
talk
that
to me about potential.
I can see some potential there, but I'm not seeing like.
My whole point.
Go watch his 30-point game.
This is the
I'm
last
pulling
time
it up right now. Pulling it up
Pull
right
it
now.
up. Look at the shots he's taking. Look at the shot selection. Look at the athleticism. Look at the pace. Look at his reads.
This is the last thing I'm gonna say, right? And then I'm off of it. The problem is this, right? Can Bronny become an NBA player? Sure, he can. He does have enough, in my opinion, he has enough to grow into that. But the problem is this: the opportunity is not given to players who are even his age, his size, high IQ, but more talented.
That's
The
not a- that's-
opportunity.
And
Hold
Paul,
on,
I
quick,
agree
real
with
quick.
you.
No.
Go ahead.
The
Land
opportunity,
it.
the opportunity was not earned. And I'm not mad that it's nepotism, but I'm gonna call it as I see it. And I think it's enough to know, and we could say that it's
The reason
nepotism.
why I
Let's
don't
see
like
what he
that being
becomes.
put on him
Let's
is
see.
because that's just the NBA. There are a lot of guys who don't get opportunities or who opportunities fade for a variety of reasons. So to act like this is some special scenario that is so out of tune and out of trend and a complete deviation from how the NBA operates is not true. The NBA does this all the time. The NBA is political. Guys get opportunities and other guys don't for a whole host of reasons. So to act like the fact that Bronny got this shot is so crazy of a scenario is ridiculous.
Guys with as low of a resume as Bronny don't get the opportunity.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They do.
They don't. They literally don't.
I'm gonna find them for you.
Okay, let's see.
You just never hear about them. You just never
you
hear about them. That's the problem. We just keep hearing
No.
about Bronny.
No.
We're following the journey of a 55th pick. That's the
No,
problem.
we're not.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. That's the issue.
Well, I mean, yes, we are.
There would have
but
never
you-
been cameras. There would have
Anyway.
never been cameras in a room watching the 55th pick get drafted. That's the
I
problem.
don't think he should.
You're rubbing it in everyone's face. That's why everyone
Opportunity-wise.
feels away. Everyone feels away because we're having it rubbed in our face. If
That's
this
a
happened under close wrap and it was just on the
Pause.
ticker, if this was just on the ticker, Bronny James drafted 55th, people would not care as much.
Doesn't
If,
matter.
if he wasn't getting
That doesn't
interviewed, if he wasn't getting interviewed every other game, people would not care as much.
That doesn't matter because even if we weren't watching, he would have to be better to be the 55th pick if his name was LeBron James. So it doesn't matter if it's.
Now I was nice. Come on
I'm
now.
gonna find it, bro. I promise you, I'm gonna find 3
Look
to
at
5
these
players
comments. Are we looking at
that
the
got
comments?
drafted. I bet you I find at least 2 players with similar resumes that got drafted higher than 55th. I bet you.
You gonna
I
lose
bet
sleep.
you. I
You gonna
bet
lose sleep. This
you.
is the NBA.
I bet
This is
you.
the
What does that
NBA.
mean? I don't mean shit, bro.
That means
It's
everything.
political, bro.
That means
There are guys averaging 45 in China, bro, that are not sniffing the NBA, bro.
And I bet you they're better than
Look
Bronny.
at Mike Beasley. Look at him, man. That man can drop 30 on your favorite player any given night. Never
Man, the
made-
league excised Melo.
That's a
And you here
fact.
telling me about some merit and about earning opportunities.
I'm talking about the opportunity to even get into the league because once
Whatever,
you get there,
I'm
that's a
talking about-
different thing.
We
That's
talking about the league
different.
period. The league period. You talking about earning opportunities.
No.
And Melo got X'd out. And you want to tell me about earning opportunities.
It is hard to get into the league. It's incredibly hard. What you're talking about with Melo getting exiled is a completely different thing because he got there. Once you get there, it's different. People know who you are. People see you on the NBA roster. People see you in the NBA game, even in garbage time. That's different. You can't compare that to Melo. That's
I'm
completely
not
different.
comparing. I'm making a broader point about the NBA. That
Bad
the NBA
example.
No, it's a great example because for how long did we say there's not 15 guys on every NBA roster better than Melo? That didn't matter. That didn't matter. That's my point. So you keep telling me all these players that are better than Bronny. I'm gonna keep saying it don't matter.
My
And
point is,
that's the comparison I'm making. There are plenty of guys that are not in the NBA that are better than guys in the NBA.
My point is-
so using that as the reason why Bronny shouldn't be there it has no weight. It has no weight.
My point is, once you get to the NBA and you have some level of talent, you will be cultivated to maximize your talent 9 times out of, not all the time, but 9 times out of 10. But you need the opportunity. And I'm saying,
disagree with that. I highly disagree with that.
once you're in the NBA,
I highly disagree with that.
you're
What-
telling me once you're in the NBA, you don't get cultivated, you don't get the training,
Hell no.
you don't have
No.
what?
Hell no.
You don't get to practice with NBA
It's on
players. That doesn't make you
It's on-
better.
No. Be careful with the words you're using. You have access to cultivate yourself.
Okay,
Ain't nobody in
sure.
the NBA is
Sure,
invested
sure.
in making you better. That's
Sure.
college.
Sure,
You want to be
sure.
somewhere where they're invested in making you better. That's college. In the NBA, it's on you.
Okay, I agree. But to get that opportunity, you got to show something before that Bronny didn't show. You got to show way more than that. And if his name wasn't Bronny James, you wouldn't even get the opportunity.
I think we've done it, guys.
Yeah, I think we're done here. I think we've gone.
Conversation was long.
Let's wrap up Christmas of NFL versus NBA. How do we feel? The NBA saw an 84% jump in Christmas ratings. They had an average of 5.25 million viewers per game. The Lakers and Warriors was the most watched with 7.7 million. But the NFL, I believe I saw something that said 66 million
64.
viewers. Let me see.
64 million.
64.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the NBA had how much?
Average 5.3.
So between the game that was on Christmas, it like in the total viewers of the combined game. That's why actually I don't like this stat either.
Yeah.
They did a combined total viewership of both games in halftime, and that was 65. And all we have is the average game viewership for the NBA. We don't have what their totality was. I mean, I guess we could do the math,
It's about
right?
30.
If it was
30.
5, but no, let's not. We know that LA was 7.7, so let's do 5.5 for the other 4. That's what
5.3 is the average. So if you do
I
that,
had 5.5.
all right, so do 5.5 times 5. That's
Oh, sorry, no, 5.3. Yeah, 5.3 times. No, let's do 5.3 times 4, and then do the real one of the 7.7 with the Lakers Warrior.
fine. It's 27 mil.
29. It's 29.
Okay.
Beyonce boosted that rating heavy.
Of course. I can personally attest that in my household, my sister's television had the game turned on for both whole games. Didn't watch a second of either game. Just had it on so that the halftime show would be already on.
My thing is, and you can tell the difference.
watch the
Who's
Beyonce
talking about the NFL games right now? No
They're
one.
talking about the halftime show.
People are
We're talking
mostly
about the
talking about
halftime. We're talking
halftime.
about Beyonce. No one cares about
The games weren't good either. But yeah.
Nobody cares about the games right now. We're talking about the N.b.a. I'm not hearing that.
But does this go to
numbers.
JJ's point though that it's actually the viewership is a real thing, but it's not because of quality of product. In fact, the NBA put a better quality product out that day than the NFL, but still had viewership problems. So then what is the problem? We just analyzed all these games and said these are all great games, high quality product. So then what is the issue? Could it be marketing?
Yes.
I mean, that's part of it, but I feel like the Christmas Day games got marketed as much as anything.
Yeah,
but
the difference is marketing
is, was the marketing compelling for casuals, which was the whole argument we had when we begun this series. Well, is the N.b.a. actually effectively marketing to gain casual viewership?
No. They're targeting the people that they should be targeting. Us.
Hoopers.
People who are invested in basketball.
I don't think they are.
Then how else do you explain it, Alan?
I don't know.
That's what we have to do now. We just did our experiment, right? Is the quality of basketball good? Yes. Did the viewership still suffer? Yes. So what's the answer? Why is viewership suffering?
I think it's a lot of different things. And I think if looking at Gordon's comment and looking at the last few weeks on comments and stuff like that, I think a lot of people are watching basketball. They're just not watching it in a way that the N.b.a. or like the channels can really talk. I think people are not like the culture of America is shifting in that people are either not paying for channels and watching games illegally, or people are just not sitting down and watching a 2-hour game. People consume the game differently. And I think that's affecting the viewership numbers, and the N.b.a. needs to catch up to like kind of count that to the viewership.
To basketball though, like because why are there not people watching NFL illegally? Like
yes, but this is also different though. I was going to get to that. Yeah. And the difference to me is the NFL is a culture like that. There's not that many NFL games that happen. The N.b.a. is an 82-game season that happens for months. The NFL season, most games were typically you watch only on Sundays. It's a cultural event. Like people know football Sunday is a thing in America. It's a cultural relevant thing. It's part of it's damn near part of American culture at this point. The N.b.a. you watch in 7 days. The games are available to you 7 days a week, and there's 82 games in the season. That's a lot of games to keep up with. And a lot of people have historically said like the N.b.a. season doesn't start till Christmas anyway, because like culturally like that's when like people really start paying attention to the season. So I think it's like an American culture thing, and like because football there's not that many games played. There's only 18 games played in the regular season, and it only happens typically on one day. I know they play like Monday and Thursday too, and people are highly invested in football because of like the fantasy and stuff too. That's more fan engagement. The N.b.a. hasn't captured all of that. It's so much different, and so there might be too many games or something. I don't know what the answer is to fix it, but I think all that kind of like translate into like the viewership being down. And I feel like once the playoffs start, the viewership is up and people are like more paying attention to it. But just I don't know, when I see from like the zeitgeist,
Nuggets finals was terrible for viewership.
Yeah, that was because the quality of the teams. But I think for the most part, like if you two like teams that people want to see, I think like the viewership is high, and I would like to know like the numbers for like the rest of the playoffs with like other good teams, those series. I feel like the viewership was high because like when I'm watching even the regular season now, like when something happens in N.b.a., like it's all over the internet. You know what I mean? So it doesn't seem like the people like still talk about the N.b.a. at a high rate. The talk shows talk about the N.b.a. at a high rate,
though, or did they farm? Did they farm that clip?
That's my point. I feel like people are consuming it a different way. People are not sitting down watching the whole games anymore, but that doesn't mean like the interest in the NBA is down. They're not watching games, which affects the viewership numbers. So maybe viewership is not the best way. The viewership, as we traditionally know it, like how many people are on the TV, on ABC, ESPN watching a game, that may not be the best way to count like how the NBA is doing.
But should it still be the goal? Us as invested fans, as podcasters who break down. I mean, we built our whole brand. Our whole theme song is about we really watch games, and
Yeah.
that's why our takes are better than other takes. If most of the narrative and conversation around the sport we love comes from a perspective of clips and YouTube highlights, is that good? Are we just okay with that? Or does the
I would.
NBA have the responsibility to figure out how to get people to watch more full games?
Well, that's a good question, and I feel like for us, I feel like we should focus because it's not everyone who's not watching full games, right? Like you have to break it down to like different types of people. There's casual fans, and just for the sake of like simplicity, there's casual fans, and there's like not like fans. And I think there's like the fans are always going to watch the games no matter what, but that's not what carries leagues. It's not what helps with like the numbers. When you talk about viewership, that's when you talk about like the casual fans. And I think the casual fans are the ones who are not watching the game all the time like the fans are.
Yeah.
And I feel like for people like us, we're catering to like fans who watch the game. Like we all watch the game. That's who we're catering to, and that's like the audience we need. But when it comes to like the NBA and the NFL and the sports leagues, they have to figure out how to cater to and count the casual fans as well.
But that comes back to the point me and Andre are saying is that they're not doing that well.
But okay, yes, but my point was I just don't think it's the marketing. I think it's the other things I said before.
Well, how else do you cater to casual? I guess that's the question. How does one cater to casuals if not through marketing?
Can I ask a countervailing question? Should we be catering to casuals?
Well, that's what me and Alan just got to because we just point we just said is
no, should the NBA be catering to casuals?
I'll tie it together, right? Look, if casuals control narrative, right? Because there is NBA engagement, which Alan pointed out, right? The cultural engagement with the NBA is still incredibly high, right? But if the majority of that engagement is coming through consuming of clips and highlights, that means the majority of the narrative and conversation around the sport is uninformed. That contributes to the popularity of players in the game, right? People who become most popular become the people that people are gravitating to based on their clips and highlights and not actual contextual game performance. That affects many things. That affects jersey sales. That affects ticket sales. It also affects the media's perspective when these awards start going out, right? It affects who the NBA believes they should pivot to highlighting in terms of their marketing because of who's popular, right? So if guys are getting popular because they have popular clips going around, and then the numbers are coming back saying that this guy is getting the most engagement and the most impressions, then the NBA tries to build their market around that guy. And then to Paul's point, whenever anyone actually does tune in and watches this guy in a full game context and they're not that nice, now the feeling about the product goes down, and now you get guys saying this narrative about the NBA not having quality product. But you're not watching the games where there's good products because you only tuned into this game because you saw this guy dunks a couple times and is really nice. And then when you watch the full game, it wasn't entertaining. So that's why we're saying, should the goal still be, should the NBA try to find a way to get casuals to watch the full game, but also watch the full game for the players of actual quality so that the brand and the league is represented in the best way possible?
Let me say this.
And how do they do that is the question. Alan doesn't believe it's through marketing. I don't really know what else you could do to incentivize people to watch your full product.
Let me say this, right?
Well,
back in the like 2000s, not even 2010s, 2000s. If you wanted to see highlights, you had to go on Sports Center. You had to watch ESPN. Like literally ESPN, right?
Which meant you might as well watch the game because Sports Center was coming on right after.
Right. Or maybe the local news, right? But in order to see these clips, you had to go on and watch TV. So you might as well watch the game because you might have time to watch the game and not Sports Center and all of that. You know what I mean? It was customary to watch the game. Attention spans were higher and all of that, right? So I think the problem now is that in the social media era, the YouTube streaming era, where clips are everywhere, you even have long clips. Think about that. Clips are supposed to be short. You have longer clips, 10-minute.
I can watch Kyrie Irving's whole 42 performance in 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
You see what I'm saying? So because of that, the NFL kind of still
you can't really do that.
The NFL has an advantage over the NBA because it's a once per week type of thing. So it's an event, right? It's
that's what I'm saying.
It's different, right? The NBA is like every other day, every 2 days type of thing for your favorite team, and there's a lot of teams games being played. So I think the problem is.
But Paul, let me just pause you there because for sake of time, I think we're all agreed on what the problem is. I don't think we are any longer confused on trying to identify what the problem.
How do you?
What is the solution? What is for us as fans who are invested in this game? If the NBA is sitting in their boardroom, what the first question is: do we need a solution? Is this a problem we care about?
My point.
That was one.
That's my point. That's my
one.
point, actually.
That's why.
Then Andre, give us that. Why do you feel the NBA shouldn't really care about what's going on currently?
Because even though we talked about the style of the play and they're fixing it, going to JJ Redick's point, and this is something I think about. There's a lot of great basketball still happening. There's still a lot of active engagement from people who care about the game. And I don't think it's a bad thing that we're caring less about nuance. And you might disagree with me, but look at hold on. Look at a sport like tennis. Look at a sport like tennis. People who are truly dedicated to the sport. They're not doing fan service to casuals, but they still get a following every single year. Same thing with soccer.
Yeah, but media and to answer your question, media and popular opinion don't affect the business of tennis.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. But they've gotten to a point, and that should be the next point. Like, this is the NBA problem.
Should we remove media from NBA meritorious distinctions? Yes. Okay, then maybe that's an alternative thing. Because that's why I say it is a problem, because if popular narrative and dominating a popular opinion has literal financial impact on these players' lives, that is being increasingly becoming more uninformed. That's a problem to me.
That's a huge problem.
That should have been a thing. Yeah.
This is what I said.
Think about. Hold on, Paul. Can I land this real
quick? Yeah. Go ahead.
Uninformed opinions in an advanced analytical, intellectual capacity of a sport don't jive. It's water and vinegar, or water and oil, whatever it is.
And I think that's what a lot of players are complaining about. It comes off as just like hating the media, but I think the nuance that maybe no player has like succinctly put in words is that the media and the overall, because media is a very broad term now, but the overall popular narrative that is being formed about players that media feeds into, because that's what people want to see. That's the thing. It's a feedback loop, right? So the media runs narratives that the people are invested in hearing about. And the narratives that people are invested in hearing about in the modern day are the ones they create themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it used to be. It used to be the people were invested in the media, in the narratives that the media were running, and the storytelling that the media created, back to my point from earlier. But right now, it's comment culture and reaction culture is such that the people create their own narratives, and the media now investigates and propagates those narratives.
Correct.
Right. So if that's what's happening, which I think is what the players are saying, if that's what's happening, if the media is just clickbaiting based on the narratives that the comment section are creating, and then the narratives that the comment section are creating are uninformed because no one's actually watching the game, then that means now our beloved game and our players are being portrayed based on opinions that don't know what they're talking about and that don't watch the game. And then that affects their pockets.
Yes.
Let me say this.
So I think it is a problem that needs to be addressed.
Correct. And the last thing, and you can clip this, NBA fans, because fast break fans already know. But if you're looking for intellectual, informed basketball takes, and you want to bring in media that knows what they're talking about, look no further than Fast Breaks
Podcast. I think that's the purpose of this podcast, is we're trying to counteract the comment section and put out narratives that are informed in the hopes that maybe major media will pick them up and react to them. We try to talk about the points that the media doesn't react to, and doesn't acknowledge, and doesn't analyze.
All right,
Paul, make your point.
Yeah, let me
I think
say-
that's why Mind the Game was so successful, because Mind the Game was a pod that did not care about whatever the comment section wanted to talk about. It was talking about basketball. And then the comment section reacted to that. And then we actually, for a brief moment in time, were having intellectual conversation in the
But did that,
populace.
but did that help the NBA viewership though?
It hurt. It was difficult because it was the playoffs. So
Let
it's
me
hard
say
to
this.
gauge
Fair
because
enough.
people were
Fair
already
enough.
invested because it was the
This
playoffs.
is where I'm going, Farrell. What I was talking about earlier about the event thing, right? To get the same NFL effect, you got to wait till the playoffs to see how popular the NBA really is, because the playoffs are the event, especially the finals. That's the event. The All-Star game used to
Talk to me
be.
about the solution to our problem. Like you're sounding like you're just going back into like
Nah,
trying to
but like,
identify
I
the
had
thing.
that to say a minute ago, but y'all were talking. I'll make it
I
quick.
think that's a fact. I did tell him to hold on.
Let me be quick. I'll be quick. That's the thing, right? The event aspect, right? Now, if the finals, the playoffs are good, then maybe there isn't a problem. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but if the situation improves only for the playoffs, that still doesn't help. The narratives have already been built in the comment section based on BS. How do we stop that? How do we stop no? But we so are we saying there's no solution? Because again, the reason why I'm saying this is important
there might
is
not be a
because the
problem.
comment section is affecting players' finances and their standings and how they're portrayed and how their brands represented in their careers. That's what's happening right now.
Wait, when you say the
can
comment
change those
section, you're just
narratives in
using that
playoffs.
as like casual fans, right? That's not. That's
I'm using it as a euphemism. I'm talking about the conversation.
Okay.
I mean, the conversation around the sport, the main way to perceive the conversation is online chatter, because we can't gauge what barbershop talk is anymore. Right. So the only way to perceive how the conversation around, the conversation around the sport is from the online. And I'm saying right now, the online conversation, they create narratives themselves based on clips and highlights. And then that informs the media cycle, which then informs these players' brands, their money, and to some degree, the trajectory of their careers. That's a problem. How do we solve that? How do we get the comment section either to be less influential, which to Paul's point is really impossible, or how does the NBA try to inform this comment section? How do we get those people driving the conversation to actually watch whole games? How do we do that?
You're not going to get people to watch whole games because of the event aspect, which is what I was talking about.
So it's futile?
Listen, man, you make it in the playoffs. The playoffs where you get the most eyes. The playoffs are the most high pressure basketball. The playoffs are where you win the championships. You make your name in the playoffs.
Are people's minds not already made up about guys by the playoffs?
No.
Wait, to answer your question,
it can be changed
for a casual. I think
a
lot of people's minds are made up about guys before the playoffs. If you're a casual,
it could be changed in the playoffs.
You gotta give me an example.
Okay, wait.
You gotta give me an example.
But to go back to your
we've been on for a minute. I gotta think about
it. To answer Pharaoh's question about like how to fix like Paul's point about the events, I think there is a way to fix it, but then you run into other problems. Like because I was saying earlier, the football is on like Sunday. Everybody knows that's the day. So if the NBA just did games on these specific days of the week, that fixes the event thing, but then that creates other problems.
In terms of national broadcast, they do. NBA Thursday night used to be a thing. TNT Thursday night used to be a thing.
Okay, you're right, but that's the thing at a certain point in the season. That's
no.
They do the NBA Saturday night. Yeah, but I'm saying
they made Saturday primetime ABC. They made that a thing.
The national game. You're right. But there's still a bunch of games that happen like 7 days a week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, but in terms of the events, and this maybe go back to the marketing point. Maybe the NBA is. This is the argument I've been making. The NBA is picking the wrong games for national broadcast. I've been saying that for a long time. I look at some of the obviously I have League Pass, so I'm watching whatever I feel like watching. Most of the time I'm locking on the Laker game if there's a Laker game that day. But if there's not a Laker game that day, I'll take a look at what's on TNT on Thursday night, what's on ESPN on Wednesday, what's on ESPN or what's on ABC Saturday night. They don't be picking the most intriguing games, bro. Like
depends on who you ask, because they pick the games, they pick the national games based on like the algorithms on what teams.
I don't know if that's what they're
doing.
So
it depends on who you. No, I'm telling you that's what they do. I've read this before.
He's
Got
looking.
you.
So it depends on who you ask, like who is the most intriguing teams, and that might go back to like the casual fans. That might be the case. Like to you and I may not think this is the best team to have on a Thursday night national game, but maybe casual fans do because this is the team that they're clicking on, the team that they're watching, the team that gets most views.
But
So
again,
it's
so
back,
no,
it's
but
circular problem.
therein lies the problem, right?
Mhm.
Those people aren't gonna watch the full game for the guys they're watching clips of. Because I'm just gonna watch the clips. For example, look, Saturday, December 28th, today, on N.b.a. TV, the 3 games they have running are the Heat Hawks, Thunder Hornets, Suns Warriors.
Here's the problem, right?
What the next TNT game
wait.
is Tuesday, January 7th.
Yeah.
The 7:30 game is Lakers Mavericks. That's gonna do well. That's gonna do very well. And the 10 p.m. game is Celtics Nuggets. That's gonna be a good day for them. That's gonna be a really good day. Wednesday, January 8th, the ESPN lineup, 7 p.m. Thunder versus Cavs, 9:30 Spurs versus Bucks.
Hold on. But Thunder versus Cavs.
Is that a good Wednesday?
Wait. You realize Thunder versus Cavs are the 2 number 1 seeds, right?
I know. But
watch
this. Why is that not going to be a good day? It should be, but why is it not going to be? Who of those 2 teams in the 7:00 spot gets heavy N.b.a. marketing push? Nobody. And to bring it all back in a circle, that's my problem. When you saying Shai wasn't good enough to get the N.b.a. to push him, well, here's the problem with that. If you feel like that, no one cares about that 7 p.m. primetime game because you're telling people Shai's not that good. Why am I watching that game? That's been my whole point. And we finally arrived. We have to push these guys because why else are we going to watch? These are the guys we're putting on prime time.
You can't fool people, though. You can't fool people.
But how else am I going to? Why? We have to watch.
The 76 has been fooling people for years, but that's a different conversation.
Because Joel Embiid gets pushed.
You know why he got that push? You know why he got that push?
But like you said, Paul, the 2 number 1 teams in the league are playing on 7 p.m. on ESPN, and nobody in that game we've seen in any marketing in the last 2 weeks in the NBA.
You know why
nobody
got that push? Because he looked like he was on track to be one of the greatest ever.
I'm not debating why. I understand why. I don't disagree with you. I'm saying it's a poor decision. That's what I'm getting to. And we finally, I'm glad we did this. We've been working on this series to get to this point, to break it down fully. I think you all understand the pathway that I've been laying out, and we see the full chain link of why it's a problem. And Alan, your contribution, everyone's contributions today have been amazing. This is one of the best pods I think we ever had because we fully identified the linear pathway. If the comment section has a link to players' trajectory, and we acknowledge that that's a problem. If the only way to get that comment section to be informed is for them to watch full games, and then we're doing algorithm based on clips to see what games are getting nationally televised, and then we look at the national television schedule, and we see the 2 number 1 teams at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, but no players in that game get star treatment or marketing, that's why I say marketing is the problem.
I still think it's an error that we're in.
Alan, what is your response to that? Because you've been the biggest, it's not a marketing problem. Do you see now the full way of what I'm saying? If no one in that game gets marketed and no one cares about that, why would anyone go watch that game?
No, I feel
and then guys don't know that Shai's actually a top 5 player in the NBA.
I understand your point, but just to clarify, it's not that I think you said something earlier. I don't think it's like the league shouldn't focus on marketing. I disagree on the point that they're not marketing to the casual fans. But
that was never my point. My point was that they're not marketing their stars.
Word.
They're not marketing their stars. They're still resting on Bron and Curry.
I don't
have a young guy carrying.
100% agree with that. 100%.
You have a young guy in Shai carrying a small market, number 1 seed. He's young. He's good looking. He's international, so he checks that box for you. But he's still black. He still has American black culture swag to him. This guy's right there, and you're putting him on national television in your prime spot, and no one cares because you don't care to market this guy.
You're not wrong. My only response to that is the Wednesday night 7:00 game just happens not to be the prime spot. That is just I'm thinking about how they probably see it. That's
But
probably
then that's
just
to Paul's
another.
point. You're losing opportunities to make events.
Agreed.
Why is the
agreed.
7 p.m. Wednesday
Agreed.
game not an event? Monday Night Football is an event, even though Sunday is football Sunday. The Monday
Yeah.
night game, that's a thing.
I agree with you. And
Tuesday
that's the
used
thing.
to
I
be
think
a
they need to
thing
make it more
too.
an event. But like the part of
Thursday.
the problem is there's
TNF,
just so
Thursday
many
Night Football,
games.
it's a thing.
There's just so many games, and on top of that, they know they're competing against other things. I think that's why we also see like a ramp up in like the event thing after the NFL season. Like I was talking about, like the Saturday night NBA like matchup. They make it. It seems like an event like right after the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I think the marketing they kind of concede a little bit during part of the season, and they ramp it up in the second half of the season. But like I agree with your point. I think they're not marketing the stars enough, but I do think they are marketing to the casual. Because like the thing is, like the casual fan, like I don't know if the casual fan knows how good Shea is, and I don't think
They don't.
pay attention. I
They
don't think they would
don't.
pay attention to that, no matter how
If
much
they did,
the
he would have won
NBA
MVP
marketed.
last year.
Potentially, I think he might win it this year. And
Maybe.
also, I had another question.
Oh.
So you said,
Oh man.
my bad. I just want to clarify one thing.
All right,
Guys,
make
this
it
is-
quick
this
though,
is-
so we gotta wrap up.
Great. This is potentially the best pod we've
Y'all
ever
don't,
done.
y'all don't like the pod. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
this is potentially the best pod we've ever done. And these guys are running out of here. This is the greatest we've ever been.
My last thing is
This is going in the Hall of Fame of pods. We might get picked up off this one.
I'm saying y'all said Pharaoh said that the comment section feeds into like the media and then affects the players, like payroll and all that. You don't think it's the opposite way? You don't think it's media kind of affects the comment section?
No, because we know now, to your point, just in the way the algorithm informs what teams get scheduled, we know for a fact that the algorithm informs what media decides to cover. So again, it's all responsive loop now to people and to the internet. What the internet wants to talk about and what the internet wants to care about is what the media is going to address, because that's going to get them their clicks. So again, everything falls back to the comment section. The clips circulate, the highlights go around, people in the comment section begin to have their feelings about it. They start narratives, and then that's what the media responds to and reports on, because they know people want to hear and talk about that stuff. That's why all the shows all have the same subjects. Every show, even some of these pods, you're going to hear what you can watch 5 NBA shows at the end of the week, and they're all going to address the same headlines, the exact same headlines. And that's because that's what the comments are talking about and asking about.
The internet wants the number 1 seed to trade for somebody so that they could become more interesting.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's my point.
I think that's a shade problem. I'm not going to hold you, but let's go.
What more
that's
can
a good
he
point,
do,
too.
bro?
That's a good
What
point.
more could he do? That's
He
my
gotta be
thing.
more personable. He get it on the court now. He gotta be more personal.
I don't think he
He's
needs to be
giving
more
you good
personable.
sauce. He's giving you good sauce.
I don't think he needs to be personable. I think he just has to compete in the playoffs and not look like a front number 1 seed.
Word.
The playoffs are where you're making. I keep going back to it. The playoffs are
here's
the key.
Why I don't like that is because you're acting like superstars only got in the past era, only got that push once they had playoff success. We used to track the progression. We used to be invested in, this team is going out in the first round, but you're gonna have to deal with this team for years to come.
We still do
No,
that.
we don't.
Yes,
No, we
you don't think that because there's nobody in this era that's going for greatness. We're tracking
Shea is going for greatness.
Shea ain't done nothing. Shea right now.
Did Kevin Durant do anything when he beat the Spurs?
You beat the Spurs. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That's the whole point.
I'm saying before. I'm saying
the whole point.
You guys don't be intentionally obtuse. I'm talking about at the time that series went
Man,
on.
I'm acute. Let's
not
go.
Not after he did it. I'm saying going into that series, had Kevin Durant done anything?
He made a statement when he beat the
multiple
Spurs.
years in a row.
Going into the series, listen to the words I'm saying. Going into playing the Spurs in the first round, had Kevin Durant done anything?
He was cool. He was like Shea is. Shea's cool.
So now you're saying, but was Kevin Durant not built? Was Kevin Durant not billed as a superstar going into that series?
He was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
and
year?
this
Which
is
year
your
you
point.
talking
You
about?
like to deny history
Wait,
and
wait,
act
wait.
like
Which year you
guys,
talking about? 2014?
act like guys didn't get popped before
Which
they got
year?
Why
popped.
are
Which
we
year?
pretending like he wasn't the number one
Which year?
scorer in the league for like years prior to that?
Like
Yeah,
Shea,
wait,
like Shea, right? Like
no,
Shea.
wait.
Shea?
You're talking about after he went to the
Lower your
finals?
tone. I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, wait a second. You're talking about after he went to the finals?
No,
You talking about before, in like 20?
his first big
11.
playoff success, beating the
Yeah.
Spurs.
He
You
was
tell me he
cool.
wasn't built as a superstar before that?
That
Nah, he
his
wasn't
big
built as a
playoff
superstar
success.
before.
You're
He was-
lying.
No,
You're-
he wasn't.
And that's
No, he
my
wasn't.
problem with you. That's not true.
That's not
and Andre,
true.
you know it, and you know it's not true. And that's been your whole problem when we had this.
You're
argument.
telling me
You
that
act
Kevin
like
Durant
guys
was a
weren't
superstar
getting pushed
before the
when they
final?
were getting pushed.
Before
Wait, are you-
2012?
What year are we talking about? Because
You
He's
done?
talking about when they had Gary Neal in them. He's
Are
talking
you
about
done?
like
Shut up.
2011.
Hold on.
Stop.
I'll tell
What
you.
year are we
I'll tell
talking?
you. He's asking if Kevin Durant was built as a superstar before he made an NBA Finals, and he's saying no. And you all,
no,
if
what
the two of you don't point out how ridiculous of a freaking statement
He
that is,
wasn't-
I'm
he
ending
was-
the pod.
he was a
Because
star.
that's absolutely absurd. That's
was a
absolutely
star.
absurd for you to say.
He was where
We're talking
Andrew
about
Wiggins,
2011.
Anthony
We're
Edwards is
talking
right
about
now.
2011, yes? Wait.
I'm wrong?
Wait. We're talking about 2011, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Oh,
think
you're
that's 2011.
absolutely
Yeah.
incorrect. What are you talking
You're
about?
absolutely wrong.
Absolutely
He
incorrect.
is literally where Anthony
What are you
Edwards
talking
was
about?
right now. Look,
Alan and I
got
were
next.
OK City fans back
you got
then,
next.
as well as the Nets and the Knicks, man. We know what they were doing. He was
The
a
problem
superstar.
is-
No,
They
I think
were
he's
people in
bigger
our
than
two
it. No,
in our
Paul,
late
Paul.
20s and early 30s
Hold on,
wanna repaint
hold
his
on.
story. He was
Hold on. I want to just address what he said, and Andre, you take it from me. He's bigger than Anthony Edwards is right now, and that's my
That's
problem.
a fact.
no.
That's a fact.
He was bigger than Anthony
No, he
Edwards is
wasn't.
right now.
He was
No, he
the
wasn't.
third best. They were
Yes,
calling
he
him the
was.
third best
Yes, he
player on the
was.
team.
No, he wasn't.
They were calling him Kid Clutch. Do you know why? Because King Clutch was Kobe. They were calling him Baby Kobe. They were teaming him up to be the rival to LeBron James. What
And
are you
people not
talking
saying
about?
Anthony Edwards
He
is
had the
dog,
Slim
he's
Reaper. He
future.
had the Slim Reaper nickname from 2010.
Y'all forgot about
And Anthony
Durant.
Edwards isn't.
Y'all
Come
forgot
on, man.
about
Now we're gonna act like
Durant.
Anthony Edwards isn't who he is.
Slim Reaper. No, Slim Reaper actually came in 2012, but that's okay.
I might be wrong
Anthony
about that.
Edwards
Yeah.
is literally where Kevin Durant was before he got to the finals. What are you
You're
talking
on
about?
crack.
You feel like
Yo,
you
No,
think
no,
that's
you're
not
not.
the
You're
case
wrong, bro.
because
You're
the
wrong,
era
bro.
of the
You're on
NBA
track.
that we're in right now is not back
Anthony
then.
Edwards is not being considered a top.
No,
three
but that's
player
our
in the league
point.
right
Like, guys are not as big as they should be.
now. Anthony Edwards is
He
not
was way bigger than Ant right now.
Anthony
way
Edwards is
bigger.
not teed up
He
to
was
be a
way
top three
bigger.
in the league. Okay, Kevin Durant got teed up to be a top 3 in the league, became a top 3 in the league, and remained a top 3 in the league.
And that's why
not
we
what
act like
Anthony
he
Durant
was
was
bigger than he
huge.
was back then.
Kevin
Before
Durant's
the finals,
brand in
because he became
2011
that
was
top three.
absolutely fun. Was huge.
Bro, they were calling him that before he went to Golden State. What are you talking about? Before he
Before he went
went
to Golden
So-
State, he got to the finals. Before he went to Golden State, he went.
That's what
We're talking about 2011, Andre. Before he went to the finals.
2011, they were teeing him up
He was
as the
huge.
third best
He was
player. in the
huge.
league.
Anthony
huge.
Edwards being teed up to
In
be one of the
2011,
best
It
players.
was Kobe, Bron, KD. That's the order. That was
No,
the order
it
in
was
2011.
Kobe, Bron, Carmelo, Wade,
It was not.
This guy's.
and then we
this
talk
guy-
about
this
Kevin
guy-
Durant.
That's what I'm saying. Revisionist history, bro. This
Oh
guy.
my God.
This guy is really bugged
my
out.
gosh.
This guy. We're talking about
So
marketing.
Carmelo
bro.
wasn't considered great, better than KD at that time.
That's
Not in
what we're talking
2011.
about at all. Well, hold on. Wait.
Not in
Andre,
2011.
Andre, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that. Not
We're
in
not talking
2011.
about who is better, bro. We're talking about
he's talking
Billy.
about star
Billy.
power. Yeah.
KD had way more star power than Carmelo Anthony in 2011.
Ooh.
Way more.
Ooh.
This is what I'm
Way
talking about.
more.
You're repainting history, and I'm not gonna allow it as a Knicks fan.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna allow it. The
I think-
Carmelo
I don't know if he had
Anthony.
more star power.
No.
I don't know if he had more star power.
It was before
I think
Melo.
it was-
They tried to
Melo had
erase
just
Carmelo
gotten
Anthony from the history of the game. I don't like it. No, I refuse it. No, Carmelo Anthony was mentally classified. You remember that?
I was with you until he said Melo. Melo's
Come
a
on,
good
man.
one.
Because
Melo's
Maybe
a
not
good
where
Melo,
his
one.
but
mindset is
definitely
at.
Wade.
Yeah,
That's like
definitely
KD was
Wade.
in back.
Definitely
No,
Wade.
he was on his way.
Definitely Wade. And he was about equal with Melo. He was about equal.
You said what?
I said definitely Wade, and he was about equal in terms of star power with Melo.
Wade was bigger than KD at that time.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Dwayne Wade
No, he
was
was not.
bigger than
No, he was
KD.
not. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. As a brand,
my God.
as
You
a
watch too
brand,
much Western
as a
Conference
brand,
basketball. That's your problem.
as a brand,
yes.
the NBA was about the West back then. Let's be real.
No, it wasn't.
All
You
right.
had the Bulls. You had the Pacers coming up.
All
You had the
right.
Knicks. You
All
had the
right.
Heat.
All right.
The narratives,
All
the best
right.
narratives were coming from the East.
All
The
right.
best narratives were coming from the East.
Okay.
The big three was weird. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Come on, man. Let's go home, man.
Good episode, y'all.
I don't like this. Oh, you said KD was better than Carmelo.
I did not say that. That's not what I
I
said.
said that. He
You
was.
said that. I said he was bigger.
I said,
If
no,
not
that's what I
as
said.
big.
Bigger.
As,
That's the word I
if
said.
not
I said
as
bigger.
big.
You're wild. Carmelo was bigger than Carmelo.
I wish there was a
KD.
website that like tracked like
Star
media
power.
presence, like
Social media?
number of commercials ran, mentions on Twitter. Like I wish we could look
Oh,
up.
patent that. You broadcasting that
Good
too.
idea.
I'm not making it. I don't got time to make that. But if
Word.
someone wants to make that, I would happily invest and we could be brand sponsors for them. But imagine, I want to be able to
Right.
track like if we can see who's trending and who's and number of mentions. I wish we could track Kevin Durant's mentions in 2011 versus Carmelo Anthony's mentions.
First of all, Carmelo got traded to the Knicks in 2011. That was a huge deal.
Yes, it
So
was.
the mentions going off of that like Carmelo got the spike at that time, right? Amari was balling out at that time, so people were like, "Oh, Carmelo Amari, what's about to happen?" Like,
What a time.
yeah, and that time elevates what we thought KD was at that time. I'm telling you, Anthony Edwards is literally where KD was at that time. Right now, it's just that the league doesn't feel as big as it was back
Yo,
then.
this is just an example, but this is like the best I could do. April 15, 2011, N.b.a. article. This is back when the articles were still had super high engagement, right? And it was posted to Facebook and Twitter. That's how you know it was old, right? 2011 NBA playoffs, warning to Kevin Durant, win playoff series now or else. Kevin Durant has a lot going for him. He has won 2 NBA scoring titles, made millions of dollars in salary and Nike endorsement, and has elevated a previously hapless Seattle, Oklahoma City franchise to the brink of title contention, all at the ripe age of 22. The league's next big superstar, Durant has the world at his feet. He's an unstoppable force on offense, an improving defender, and has shown the killer instinct necessary for great. Durantula, that was the nickname he had earlier.
I literally said Durantula.
My bad. I think the world of Durantula, and that's why I'm here to provide a friendly warning to my favorite arachnid. Win your first playoff round series against the Denver Nuggets. Do it now. Get it out of the way. It doesn't matter if you get it done in 4 or 5, 6 or 7 games, and it won't mean a thing if you win the series averaging 14 points at 35. In a year or 5 years, no one will remember. Just win, move on to San Antonio, and enjoy your summer. Despite his age, ability, and the fact that most of his running mates are also in the process of removing their NBA training wheels, there needs to be essential urgency here. Why? Because the annoying media and basketball analysts may not question Durant on why he hasn't been able to win a playoff series yet, but if the Thunder don't beat the Nuggets, I can promise you the number one question heading into the next postseason will be, can Kevin Durant win the playoffs, or when will Durant advance?
That's where Ant is right now. That's literally where Ant is right now.
That's that's coming off of Western Conference Finals, bro. This is like,
what you mean?
of course, the questions about whether he's going to win are going to follow now because he just came off of Western Conference Finals. They were not giving him that at the age of 22 going into just playoffs.
Wait, hold on. This is 2011, right?
Such attention, that adds weight to an already intense situation. All those questions he wants to answer, a playoff failure continues. Such attention puts weight on the world of a player and it consume and even sometimes sadly define a career. They're talking about the defining of his career and him being the face of the league at 22 in 2011, bro.
Like, sound like Ant to me.
That's what I mean.
All right, so Fast Breaks family, it's been a wonderful season. We're so glad. Because if I don't stop them now, we're gonna be here for another 7 hours.
That's right. But this has been great. Happy holidays. You get a 3-hour pod.
Hey, this is the last one of 2024.
Probably at the best pod we've ever done. We're only getting better. Season 2, this is what you get. Those of y'all that tuned in today, Gordon, thank you for the comments. Yo, put people on.
Gordon.
You see the conversation that's happening in here. It's high level. It's high level basketball analysis. It's high level business analysis. It's media analysis. You're getting it all. There's no other show really covering comprehensively all the aspects of the basketball, the sport we love, the way we are. Put your people on. I've told myself in 2025 I'm going to be better about this. Like, comment, subscribe. share with your friends. Help grow this, man. Don't keep it in your dirty little secret. Put people onto this pod. Tap in with us on Twitch. We're gonna be playing 2Ks. I hope on Sunday. Hopefully on Sundays we'll be playing 2K on Twitch. I don't know.
We might be playing today, so potentially this evening.
That's what it is. This has been Fast Breaks. We out.
2025. Let's get it.
Peace.
Light it up.
Happy New Year. We out.
Going crazy 2025, man.
Come on. It's Fast Breaks. Listen. We back with another one.
Fast breaks, yeah, we coming with the takes. Never early, never late, but we always push the pace, yeah. And we really study tape, y'all just view the highlights. Man, we really watching games, yeah. You just watch from the stands. We run 3-man weeks, Paul, Dre, and Allen, yeah. Way more than a fan. We got love for the game. We don't have to pretend. Got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. I'm the run the fast break. Throw me the outlet. Yeah, we got it out the mud like you get it off the glass. Time to run the fast break. Throw me the